Radish will Rui to Cloud Dance's hand, and then ordered A. This is blood Rui, I don't know what effect, if you find out later, remember to tell me. The appearance of little Carrot Head is really generous and straightforward. Zuerwei starts with Yunwu's subconscious use of the Dragon Scroll to see what it is, but it is found that there is no record in the Dragon Scroll. It's really strange. It's just blood. There's no record? Yunwu thought in his heart. But looking at the little radish on his face, he nodded and said, I know. If you find anything, I'll tell you. Radish answered happily. They left the treasure room together and went back to the cave. Yunwu had a rest for a while. This time, Radish finally stopped chasing people. When Yunwu left, Radish ran to the door and watched her leave, shouting, When you find your partner, remember to come to see me. Cloud Dance heart move. Think of Radish so long as a radish, live in the cave, can't help but some moved. So Cloud Dance is very rare to her, seriously nodded. See this little radish, this just satisfied smile waved. Out of the cave, Yunwu went back to the place where he had fallen to have a look. This time, with the protection of Bingpa Dan, the surrounding environment has no effect on her. Even standing on the top of the volcano cannot feel the heat. Yunwu felt that the coldness released by Bingpa Dan completely dispelled the heat. The hotter the environment was, the more cold the Bingpa Dan released, and he nodded with satisfaction. I didn't expect that the radish was quite generous. Bingpa Dan is really a good thing. Yunwu wandered around the top of the volcano to see if they could be found. But after looking for a circle, I found nothing. I can't help feeling dignified. It's clear that they entered the transmission array together. Even if they are wrong, they should be in the same place. Cloud Dance some frown of mutter. If they have nothing to defend themselves, or if they are injured, can they be able to protect themselves in such a place? So think, Cloud Dance can only pray in the heart, don't have anything, at the same time more seriously looking up, but still fruitless. Perhaps somewhere else? Yunwu stood at a high place, took a look at the top of the volcano, and finally decided to go to another place to have a look. As soon as I stepped out, the earth suddenly shook, as if the whole world would collapse. The first reaction of Cloud Dance is the earthquake. It flies to the sky and overlooks the earth below. But then she realized that she was wrong. What does an earthquake in a volcano mean? Volcanic eruption. Just flying into the air. Yunwu suddenly realized this and looked at the crater. Sure enough, I saw the crater, which had not moved much, and began to smoke in the violent vibration. I could even hear the sound of magma rolling in the volcano, like a boiled hot pot. Then came the sound of poo poo poo. I saw, one by one, red figures came out from under the ground and flew into the air like clouds. Human. Those figures flew into the air, and immediately found the existence of Cloud Dance. At the moment, some people were stunned, and their faces were unbelievable. It seems like a miracle that human beings can live in this place. Yunwu squints at him, and sees that the curious guy in front of him looks like a human bat. Behind him he has two fiery red wings, and the smell of fire elements is very strong. Warcraft of fire? With these words, Yunwu found that more and more fire beasts came out of the ground. Each one has different shapes, but most of them make Yunwu think of dinosaurs. For example, the one in front of us is like a pterosaur, but it seems to be much smaller, while most of the other warcraft like Western dragons are the same size as human beings. All the fire beasts are red and surrounded by strong fire elements. Earthquake, earthquake, run. Wait for me. Run, run. Otherwise I will be buried in it. There were all kinds of angry voices around. The cloud danced and looked around. One of the fire beasts was quite embarrassed. When he stood in the air like her, he finally calmed down. Look at the bottom again. In the midst of the powerful earthquake, it can be called the mountain collapse. How can there be humans here? A fire beast discovered the existence of Cloud Dance. It's human. How are humans here? Or a good living man? Then another fire beast pointed to the cloud and yelled, My God! It's human. More and more fire beasts, as if they had seen something rare, gathered around them one after another, and looked at Yunwu carefully. Regardless that Yunwu's face was dark. These guys think she's a monkey? No. The volcano is going to erupt suddenly. A fire beast pointed to the direction of the volcano and screamed in horror. This sound, like a bolt from the blue, immediately diverted all the fire beasts' attention to the past. When they fly up, they are so relaxed that they think they cannot be buried underground, but they forget that the place they are at is the top of the volcano. Once the volcano erupts, all the fire beasts here will not escape the fate of being killed. Run away. Help. Run. Groups of fire beasts scurry, but it's too late. When the earthquake came, the magma in the volcano was like an angry devil. After the violent tumbling, I can't wait to rush out of the bondage. The huge tumbling sound resounds all over the world, and the magma in the volcano finally comes to a time when it can't bear, and it erupts instantly. Large areas of magma gushed out, and the huge boom sound resounded through the world. Just from the underground, in order to avoid the earthquake and drill out of groups of fire beasts, to this moment to find out, after coming out, facing a bigger disaster. Hot magma from the sky, like a meteor shower in general, but also like a fireball, mercilessly toward the ground. Yunwu directly covered her whole body with water elements at the first time, and with the help of Bingpu Dan, every time these fireballs came to her side within 10 meters, Yunwu quickly shot. The hot fireball was frozen into ice in an instant, and then reduced the attack and fell straight to the ground. For a moment, except for Yunwu, all other places suffered. No matter how powerful these fire beasts are, they are just some powerful warcraft. Living here for many years still can't resist the volcanic eruption, one after another howling and scurrying. Yunwu thought for a while, and thought that if he saved them, he might be able to get rid of them and find the whereabouts of several people of Longqingxi. With this in mind, when I raised my hand, the fire, which was hotter than the magma in the volcano, spewed out and rushed straight into the sky. Then, from the top of the head to the cloud dance position as the center, spread out in all directions, in the top of the head propped up a protective umbrella. Through this layer of defense, the falling magma buffered a lot of speed, and some small fire groups were burned directly. Yunwu deliberately controlled the temperature, so that she couldn't feel the high temperature under the umbrella. With the effect of Bingpa Dan, she couldn't feel the cold all over her body. Come here if you want to live. The cold voice of Cloud Dance rang out, and the PA office sent it out. In an instant, those scurrying fire beasts found this good place and ran to it in a hurry. Go over there. There's a man over there who can escape from the magma. Let's go quickly. Wait for me. More and more fire beasts gathered under the umbrella. What's more, they found that the closer they were to Yunwu, the cooler they were. After a while, many fire beasts boldly approached Yunwu, feeling the comfortable cool meaning. Cloud Dance frowned and didn't like the chattering of a group of warcraft around her, but since she had already done it, she could only endure it. This outbreak lasted for a long time. When it stopped, everyone had a feeling of survival and sighed. Yunwu looked down and saw that many big holes had been made in the place below. Some places have collapsed because of the earthquake. Fortunately, these fire beasts can run fast, otherwise they will be buried underground. Cloud Dance narrowed her eyes and looked at the place where she had met Radish before. She vaguely saw that the place was still intact, so she was relieved. Human? Just as Yunwu was looking around, a fire beast suddenly cried out in surprise. All of a sudden, other fire beasts also looked towards this side, and their faces were quite curious. Cloud Dance called a face don't speak. Listen to that fire beast's tone don't seem to have the meaning of thanksgiving to her. Isn't this group of fire beasts hate human? If that's the case, her life-saving move is a big trouble for her. Well, it's human. Like a summoner? Another fire beast more surprised to see the clouds. This sentence followed by more fire beast onlookers. What? Summoner? For a moment, the fire beasts around looked at the clouds and couldn't help changing their eyes, as if with some fear. At the same time, they looked at the prey with light in their eyes. Yunwu frowned and always felt that he was like a targeted food, which was very uncomfortable. But these fire beasts did not make any action, so she took back the protective umbrella in the sky, while she was on the alert. The fiery fire elements poured into Yunwu's body, but did not cause any harm to her at all. This action made the surrounding fire beasts become restless, and the eyes looking at her became more naked. It's really a summoner. Heaven does not perish our family. After so long, there is a summoner at last. Summoner. The fire beasts changed their postures one after another. Their eyes were shining with hunting spirit. They looked at the clouds, and their saliva almost came out. But they didn't move for some reason, just like they were waiting for someone. See this kind of circumstance cloud dance still have what don't understand. It's obvious that the fire beasts took her as food. At the moment, Yunwu's face was cold. Since these fire beasts didn't care about her life-saving kindness, they didn't mean well to her, so she wouldn't show mercy. As soon as you turn your hand, the black flame sword suddenly appears in your hand. The strange black flame is burning, symbolizing the extraordinary power. The fire beasts around were stunned and felt the appearance of the black flame. Instinctively, they felt a breath of danger, and hesitated to step forward. Hum. Cloud dance a cold hum. Since these fire beasts have no eyes, then she doesn't mind to take them to operate. Black flame sword waving, cloud body closely followed in a group of fire animals in the rapid shuttle. Hand up knife fall, blood gushing, scream instantly sounded. A dash, but a few seconds later, Yunwu returned to the previous place and stood still. Within 10 meters of her side, there was no fire beast. Other fire beasts were so surprised that they saw more than a dozen fiery red figures falling down. Each of those figures was cut off by Yunwu. The technique was appropriate. Looking at the horror, each of them survived. Yunwu coldly looked at the look of the fire beasts around, and in order to be afraid, he knew that he had achieved his goal, and he didn't want to entangle with them anymore. So he saved a group of white-eyed wolves when he was blind. Just as Yunwu turned around and was ready to leave, the fire beasts were in a commotion again. The boss is coming, the boss is coming. What about the human summoner? Don't let her go, stop her, the boss is coming. Cloud dance eyebrows a wrinkle. In front of a flash of light and shadow, a dozen fire beasts directly blocked in front of their own, and restored just covet. Hey summoner. You don't want to go. More than a dozen fire beasts laughed unkindly, and even left saliva in the corner of their mouths. And just afraid of cloud dance look very different. Yunwu's face was cold, and the black flame sword in his hand waved again, directly killing the fire beast in front of him. Unexpectedly, he had just taken action, and a hot wall of fire suddenly appeared in front of him, blocking more than a dozen fire beasts behind the wall of fire. Cloud dance figure move quickly back. Although the wall of fire can't do much harm to her, she is still careful and tries to hide her strength before judging her opponent's strength. A moment later, a huge fire beast slowly fell in front of the fire wall. A pair of beast eyes were staring at the clouds coldly. There was a suppressed hatred in the depth of the eyes. Human? Summoner? Fire beast cold mouth, tone actually with faint excitement, as if met what baby in general. So what? Cloud dance turned it one eye, coldly said, up and down looked at the fire beast in front of. Except for its bigger size, the fire beast before the meeting seemed to have nothing special. It was all red like a giant bat. But it's much more beautiful than bats. 2 meat wings are connected under the arms. The only difference is that the eyes of other fire beasts are black, and only this eye is gold. Well, yes. Fire beast sneer. A pair of beast eyes staring at cloud dance, like looking at a dying man. Yunwu frowned and said, "It's a group of people who bite each other for kindness. I saved you from the eruption of the volcano, but now you are not good at it. It's me who's gone." The fire beast captain was stunned, but then he didn't even hesitate. He said coldly, "Revenge for kindness? I don't know who is cruel enough to keep us here." As soon as the fire beast captain's words were finished, many fire beasts around suddenly became excited, and the fear caused by cloud dance disappeared immediately. "Boss, kill her. Drink her blood and we'll get out of here. It's all human. We can't leave the volcano. We have to get revenge anyway, boss, do it. Kill her and take the blood." Cloud dance face more cold, but the heart is surprised. Drink her blood? Revenge? Did these fire beasts take her as someone else? What are you talking about? Why revenge? I smell the clouds coldly. If you ask the wrong person, she doesn't want to be the wrong person. Boss. When the fire beasts heard her words, they immediately became unconvinced and called for the leader of the fire beast, But they were interrupted by the leader of the fire beast. Fire beast captain, a pair of beast eyes in Cloud Dance body up and down. Eyes from the initial resentment into surprise, finally unfathomable. Cloud Dance just stood there and let the other side look at it. After a long time, the fire beast captain finally took back his eyes. You're not her. Fire beast captain's tone is very affirmative, but unexpectedly this word's many fire beasts behind suddenly blow hair. What? She's not that person? Boss, are you going to let her go? No matter whether it's that person or not, she's the summoner, boss. You can't just let her go. Hundreds of fire beasts have different opinions. Almost all fire beasts have only one purpose. Let Cloud Dance stay and be eaten by fire beasts. The Cloud Dance is in my ears, but I don't care about them. Now that the boss has said that he is not the one they hate, it is better for him to leave and do what he wants to do. With this in mind, Yunwu turns around and leaves. But unexpectedly, just took a step behind a group of hot flame directly hit her back, while the empty door on her back opened, mercilessly, a blow to take her life. Cloud Dance eyes a sink. The next moment figured directly disappear. The fire passed through the place where Yunwu had just stayed. After the red glare, the leader of the fire beast watched the Yunwu disappear and was stunned. Then immediately turned back, but still nothing. So big space. In order to facilitate his hand, other fire beasts consciously retreated to 10 meters away. In the surrounding space, only he stood alone. Not only him, but also so many fire beasts around him didn't find where Yunwu had gone. What about people? The fire beast also followed to look behind the fire beast captain, but still did not see the figure of Cloud Dance, immediately all silly eyes. The fire beast captain's face sank and said angrily, "He must have escaped. Want to escape from under my eyes? Dream. I'll look for all of them. I'll look for all of them in the neighborhood." Yes, at the command of the fire beasts, hundreds of fire beasts immediately scattered, regardless of their nests destroyed by the volcanic eruption, thinking about where the clouds had gone. Yunwu hid behind a rock and frowned at everything outside. Just now, her speed reached the acme, and because she had observed this place for a long time, she flashed in directly. Originally thought these fire beasts couldn't find her, naturally gave up, but how didn't think, the other party unexpectedly so direct pursued. Looking at the hundreds of fire beasts in the sky searching their private places, the Cloud Dance couldn't help crying and laughing. What a waste of time. The Cloud danced and muttered. These fire beasts don't have much power in her serious situation. If they can fight, they just spend a lot of effort and time. When they're finished, I don't know if they will live. What's more, she can't guarantee that she can leave unharmed under the siege of so many fire beasts. The attack just now was just unexpected, so she won. How can we leave unharmed? There seems to be something wrong with these fire beasts. Cloud Dance carefully thought about the dialogue of fire beast just now. Only by sucking the blood of the human summoner can we leave this place. What's the setting? A fire beast flew over the place where the clouds were hiding. Cloud Dance suddenly thought of something. Eyes bright, suddenly have a way. There are more than 1,000 fire beasts here. Just now, because of an earthquake and volcanic eruption, many of them have been killed, injured and injured. The rest are only 800. At this time, so many fire beasts all scattered, in the range of activities can be carefully searched with Cloud Dancing figure. The fire beast captain has been standing in the place where the clouds disappeared, quietly observing the surrounding environment. Deep eyes do not know what to think. At this time, a cold murderous gas suddenly rushed from below. Fire beast captain is almost out of instinct, quickly to one side. The next moment, Yunwu stood in front of the fire beast captain with a black flame sword. "It's so exciting to find me." Cloud danced the corner of the mouth to start to put on a cold smile, light say. The black flame has been put away on the ancient Wu dagger. It looks like an ordinary dagger. "How dare you come out?" The fire beast captain stares at Cloud Dance coldly. "The vision is not good. I'd like to go." Cloud Dance, a face doesn't matter facial expression. "But I am very curious to what you say, so come back to ask, otherwise, you send out again many fire beast, also don't want to find me." Captain Firebeast's eyes were cold. At the same time, Those fire beasts who went out to look for Yunwu have found that Yunwu appears again, and they are gathering here constantly, wrapping Yunwu in the encirclement, to prevent her from escaping again. Yunwu looked at the encirclement and said, "You should know the power of the summoner. If I kill you, no matter how many subordinates you have, you can't stop me. Even if you are angry, it's not impossible for you to die. Are you sure you want me to do this?" As soon as Yunwu's words were finished, a fire beast made a disharmonious sound around her. Looking at Yunwu's eyes, she despised her very much, as if to say that she was beyond her capacity. Cut, what a big tone. Who does she think she is? Who is that? Xia. The talkative fire beast didn't finish a word. The next moment he screamed out. Around the fire beast panic look, you can see that one of the fire beast's wings has broken. There is a small black flame on it, burning a little bit. The pain spread little by little. People can't ignore. The fire beast's frightened eyes looked at Yunwu, but she didn't seem to know what happened there. She still stood there, and no one saw how she did it. For a moment, all the fire beasts shivered, unconsciously retreated, kept a distance from Yunwu, and some carefully protected their wings. You can't believe it, but you have to bear the consequences. Cloud danced cold eyes on the opposite fire beast captain. One seat said, "Immediately let the fire beast captain in the eyes of some more fear, faint and some struggle, seems not willing to let such a good opportunity. I don't know how long it has been before I finally met a human summoner here. If they let each other go because of their strength, they don't know how many years they have to wait here. But if you insist on not willing to let go, then look at her strength. I'm afraid to gamble with the whole family's life." How to do it? The fire beast captain was very tangled in his heart. There was no expression on Warcraft's face, but a pair of flashing eyes betrayed him. The cloud dances a corner of the mouth to hook, know oneself of psychological war success, then continue to say, "Not so good. Let's make a bet. If I win, you will listen to me from today on. If I lose, I'll leave it to you. How about it?" The fire beast captain's eyes were uncertain, and he didn't know whether to agree or not. If you lose, you have to compensate yourself. But what if you win? Boss, bet with her. A fire beast opened its mouth. But what if you lose? If we lose, we can't get out of here. Another fire beast said, thinking that if he lost, the boss would be someone else's. He felt guilty. If you don't gamble, will you get out of here? The first fire beast said again that the strength of Cloud Dance made them very scared. The other fire beast didn't speak, and apparently she felt the same way. After a long time, the fire beast captain finally made up his mind. Bet. Why not gamble? Anyway, staying here also loses freedom, and it's meaningless to live. There's no difference between losing and being around Yunwu. On the contrary, if you win, you can leave here. Why not? What are you going to bet on? After making the decision, the fire beast captain put down his heart and asked Xiang Yunwu. Behind him, a group of brothers looked at the fire beast captain and cheered silently. Although not able to participate in the gambling, but they will stand behind the fire beast captain to cheer for him. Cloud Dance, a corner of the mouth hook, said, "Bet on fire." The fire beasts were stunned. Gambling on fire? How to bet? Since you are fire beasts, you are good at fire. I don't bully you either. I'll gamble with the fire you are good at. Whose fire is more powerful than others? How about it? As soon as the words came out, the fire beasts burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, is this human being too arrogant? Does she think her fire element can match our boss's fire? Yes, I don't think she knows how hot our boss is, right? Gambling on fire, is she not afraid of being scorched? When we didn't come here, we didn't encounter a fire more powerful than the boss's. After staying here for such a long time, the boss's fire is not what it used to be. It's said that it's the first. No one refutes it. This guy is even better than the fire. Is he daydreaming? One voice after another is laughing at Yunwu. Some of them are too much to gamble on what others are good at. Well, I'll bet with you. Fire Beast Captain said. How do you want to bet? It's very simple. Cattle attack with your fire. I resist with my fire, to see whether your fire breaks through my defense, or my fire reverses your fire. Backfire. Fire Beast Captain Alung, Some don't believe of ask away. Yes, it's backfire. Cloud Dance definitely nodded. She knew that the most powerful means of these fire beasts was fire, but she had pure yang of black flame and small stink, and she was not afraid of them at all. If only the defense is successful, it will certainly delay time. At that time, they will doubt whether they are successful because they have special means. Instead of doing so, it's better to gamble on whether they can backfire, so that they have nothing to say. Fire Beast Captain's eyes flashed a doubt, looking at the appearance of Cloud Dance. Some doubt whether she has any special means, but think about it all, think it's impossible. And his fire is very fierce, finally nodded. Good. Fire Beast Captain seriously said. If I lose, from now on you are my master, what you say is what? If I win, then you will become our food and give us a tooth-beating ceremony. As soon as the words were heard, the fire beasts scattered around, leaving a large open space in the middle for the fire beast captain and Yunwu. Yunwu stood there quietly and said to the fire beast captain, "Start attacking." In that way, it seemed that he didn't want to let out his own flame first, and the fire beast captain didn't care. At this point, no matter how the other party's flame was, he would have to harden his head. What's more, he just felt that the other party was showing off. Fire Beast Captain looked at the Cloud Dance, then a pair of eyes slowly become red, as if brewing something in general. Cloud Dance eyes micro-ling. She knew that just now that fire strong but Fire Beast Captain's handy attack. At this time brewing is the real fierce flame, immediately in the heart of vigilance. If the Fire Beast Captain trusts his own fire, Yunwu trusts his own fire even more. The black flame that she used to attack Fire Beast was not seen by the leader of Fire Beast, so she had a card. Even if she saw it, it didn't matter. Anyway, she still had pure Yang Yen as a guarantee. I saw that the Fire Beast Captain's eyes became more and more blood red, and there seemed to be something in his mouth. Then, the mouth of the beast opened, and the hot flame spewed out directly and rushed to the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance eyes a cold, black flame directly in front of a wall of fire, in the red flame to arrive, will Cloud Dance tightly behind. Red collides with black, as if they are anxious together. One black and one red is particularly appropriate. But the Fire Beast Captain's eyes turned pale when he saw the black flame, and then turned into human shape, looking at the situation in front of him in shock. How can this black flame? Fire Beast Captain murmurs away. Only this voice doesn't have other people to hear. Yunwu stands behind the black and looks at the two colors sticking to each other. But this situation did not last long, and soon the black will be a little bit toward the red phagocytosis in the past. Mama, this fire beast is too weak. The sound of little stink appeared in the sea of knowledge. Cloud Dance mouth a hook, is the default of a small stinky words. Originally, I thought I could see the fierce fire. I went out to see if I wanted to do it. I didn't expect that I would be beaten down so easily. Tut tut, it's too weak. Little Stink continues to thump. In front of us, the battle of fire has finally come to an end. The red flame is not as good as the black flame. With the increase of time, the black flame became more and more popular, and finally directly swallowed up the red flame. The Fire Beast Captain's chest was stuffy, and he almost vomited blood. The red flame was his most powerful flame, which could almost be called the fire of his own life. If it was used normally, it would not be so good. But today the fire was swallowed, and the Fire Beast Captain himself was also hurt. Yunwu raised his hand, took back the black flame, felt the abundant energy in his body, and was in a good mood. Then he looked at the leader of the Fire Beast and said, "If you rely too much on the flame, even if you are a fire beast, it will be harmful." Fire Beast Captain eyes twinkle. Finally some decadent said, "I lost." There was an uproar. Those onlookers all looked at everything in front of them. Almost every fire beast had only one thought in his heart. How could it be? Never seen the Fire Beast Captain's flame will be defeated in the hands of others. Even if it is the same power have not seen. But just now, the flame was under the black flame, without the ability to resist, and it was swallowed directly. The person who did all this was just a human summoner. In this way, how strong is the summoner? Think of here, almost every fire beast can't help shivering. Fortunately bet otherwise, I'm afraid all the fire beasts' lives will be lost here. I will listen to you from now on, no matter what you want me to do. The fire beast captain walked up to Yunwu and said, It's just for some reason, we can't get away from the volcano, so our ability is limited. Cloud Dance eyebrows slightly pick. Understand what he said this means. Now I'll ask you a few questions, and you should answer them honestly. Fire Beast Captain respectfully lowered his head. Excuse me. Cloud Dance pondered for a while and said, Why are you trapped here? Why drink my blood? And why do you think I'm the one you're talking about? Who is that man? A series of 4 questions are all thrown out. Yunwu always thinks that there are some secrets of Fire Beast in it. And these secrets are also very important to her. The Fire Beast Captain hesitated for a moment, but then he thought that since he had agreed to the bet, and was already a cloud dancing man, he finally said it. It's a human masterpiece that we're trapped here. The head of the Fire Beast gritted his teeth and said, That human looks very similar to you. We are all sealed here by him. If we want to touch the seal, we must drink the blood of the human summoner, otherwise we can only stay here forever. Yunwu looks at the head of the Fire Beast gnashing his teeth in front of him. He knows that what he says is true, but he looks cold. He doesn't seem to be curious. In fact, there are many problems in Yunwu's mind. A woman who looks like her? Also a human summoner? Can you still seal the Fire Beast here? Who is that man? If you can make Fire Beast think that you are her, then that person must be very similar to yourself. Yunwu doesn't know how to think of Xueyin's mother. At the beginning, Xueyin's mother was taken away by the blood corpse. These fire beasts had to drink their own blood before they could leave. This way of contacting the seal was too strange. Is there any connection between the two? While thinking about it, we heard the leader of the fire beasts say, That woman is the mother of ginseng nearby, but since we sealed, we have not come to the volcano again. Even if we want revenge, we have no ability to do that. Yunwu nodded. So far, he knew all he wanted to know. It was estimated that these fire beasts could not ask any more questions, so he said, I know. I still have a few friends here. I need to find them. You can leave first. After that, Yunwu is about to leave this place. But when Yunwu saw the surrounding environment, her face sank. A volcanic eruption, a large number of magma gushed out, and played a chain roll. Several volcanoes nearby also followed the eruption. Fly to the air, look around you, you can see the site of the place. The ground is full of hot magma. But Yunwu didn't feel the heat because of the ice spirit Dan on her body. At this time, seeing this scene, she realized an important problem. She can't leave for the moment. I don't know what happened to Long Qingxia. Cloud Dance whispered, eyes full of worry. If they are still nearby, will they be affected by the volcano? Think of here, Cloud Dance more worried, but he can't leave, and don't know where to find them, even if it's no use worrying. She is not afraid of it, but if she really walks on it, her life will be in danger after a long time, let alone looking for someone. After thinking about this, Yunwu decided to find a place to wait for a while, and then leave here when the magma is almost cooled. At present, Yunwu is going to find a place to have a rest. Wait. Behind him, the fire beast captain suddenly said, What's the matter? Yunwu turned his head, and there was no intimacy in his eyes. Although this man lost himself to himself, he was not interested in taking him away. Fire beast captain followed up, some embarrassed said, Although I lost to you, but the nest can't follow you to leave, so this thing to you, said stretched out his hand, handed Cloud Dance a red like Dan medicine general thing. Cloud Dance's eyes swept, and the message automatically appeared in his mind. Inner Pill of Warcraft contains a lot of energy, and taking it can improve his strength. I got this by chance. Since I can't follow, I'd like to express my mind with this, said the fire beast captain. Cloud Dance murmured in her heart. Why is it that someone always wants to give me something today? Radish even if, in front of this so big also a simple appearance. Having said that, it's hard for Yunwu to refuse when he looks sincere. At the moment, I didn't care. I picked up Naiden and said, Thank you very much. The information in the tornado comes to mind, and Yunwu is ready to put it away. It's a treasure for the human summoner. It's good to take it. I don't know if it's true, the fire beast captain then said. Why don't you try it and see if it really works? If so, next time you come to me, I'll find you too. Cloud Dance glanced at him and saw that the fire beast captain's cheek was red. He was a big man, but he seemed to be seen through something on his mind. Yunwu didn't take it seriously. He just thought that this man was expressing his desire to leave. He wanted to let himself take him away, so he nodded and said, "Okay, I'll try." After that, he took the Niden directly. At the moment of swallowing, Yunwu felt that a powerful force had entered her body. When she wanted to say that Niden was very effective, her face suddenly changed. The majestic power in the body suddenly poured into the four limbs, and the original power in Yunwu's body resisted. Then, the new power suddenly gathered in the Dantian place, and finally slowly formed an array to cover Dantian. You Cloud Dance, a pair of eyes extremely cold, looking at the fire beast captain, want to break him to pieces. How dare this man count on her? When the array appeared, the cultivation that was still surging at the previous moment suddenly seemed to encounter a natural enemy, and was locked firmly in the Dantian. No matter how Yunwu did it, he didn't respond. At the next moment, Yunwu's body couldn't support and fell to the ground. The fire beast captain's eyes indicated that a bigger fire beast flew over immediately, caught the Cloud Dance and let her sit on her back. I'm sorry, summoner. Your strength is too strong, so I can only use this move. Just now, the respectful fire beast captain said with some pride. In fact, even if you don't bet, it doesn't matter. I'm just a small captain. It's right to give you to the king of fire beasts. Although I lost myself to you, our fire beast king can still deal with you. Then, with a wave of his hand, he left with all the fire beasts. After the volcano erupted, the fire beasts prepared the cave as soon as possible. And the fire beast captain has been flying away with the Cloud Dance, and the fire beast carrying her. Cloud Dance looked around the environment. In front of the fire beast captain asked, "Where do you want to take me?" Fire beast captain did not speak, still flying in front, a pair of wings from time to time flapping twice. Just when Yunwu thought he would not answer, he heard him say, "Just now that scorn, I was calculated by you. You have seen my flame in advance and know that yours is more powerful, so you deliberately provoke me to compete with you." Yunwu didn't say anything, which is equivalent to acquiescence. But even so, what? She just knew in advance. Whether she agreed or not depends on this person. See Cloud Dance acquiesced to his words. Fire beast captain bite teeth. Oneself, how so stupid? How can you sell yourself like this? When I see the fire beast king later, I must let him teach her a lesson. I made up my mind and the fire beast captain flew faster. When I finally stopped, I saw that this is the largest volcano. Fire beast team leader skillfully found an entrance, and then took the lead to drill in. This is an underground life. Compared with the environment above, the underground is closer to the volcano and hotter. It's just that the fire beasts are used to living here, and they don't have that feeling. Because of the ice spirit pill, Yunwu is not afraid of the heat as long as it doesn't go into the magma and let the magma hurt itself. Underground, a palace-like existence. There are no less than 100 caves. The biggest one is just the entrance, which is enough for a fire beast to get in and out. Yunwu was directly brought into the largest cave. After entering it, he found that although it was a cave on the outside, but it's the same as human habitation, with all kinds of things in it. Even the sleeping place is bed instead of nest, which makes Yunwu very surprised. The following witty fire beast turns into a prototype when it enters the cave, and it doesn't seem crowded when it stands in the cave. The cave is like a house. There are several passages leading to other small caves. Yunwu is even more surprised. Wait here. I'll tell the king. The leader of the fire beast turned his head and looked at Yunwu. He told the crowd. Then he led a passage. It seems that the leader of the fire beast often comes here, and his position in the clan is not low. No wonder his strength is not bad and he has a mind. A moment later, a figure came out of the passage. Cloud Dance swept past, only to see the strength of the strong, burly, proud and indifferent face. You know that this man must be the king of fire. Are you the human summoner? The king of fire looked at the cloud and said coldly. The cloud dances coldly to stand there, letting the fire beast king in front of look at her up and down. Don't say a word. In the mind actually is pondering rapidly. I have no accomplishments now. If I really start, I'm afraid it's not his opponent at all. For today's plan, I have to be soft first and see what they want to do. Well, I have some backbone. I can be neither humble nor arrogant at this time. Seeing that she had not spoken for a long time, the King of Fire said with a sneer. At this time, Yunwu finally said, "What are you going to do with me?" There is no fear of being in a bad situation at this time. Instead, it seems to be a guest. Yunwu quietly called his several summoner companions in his heart, but after shouting for a long time, there was no response. I think it was because his cultivation was sealed that he could not contact them. After all, the connection with them can only be achieved through one's own cultivation. Thinking of this, Yunwu tries to contact Hayo in the Hall of Chaos. I can take Warcraft lightly when I don't know whether it's an enemy or a friend. It's good to let you take some punishment. The voice of Black Pride came coldly, quite ironic. Cloud Dance lowered his head. The corners of his mouth could not help but smoke. This Black Proud will take the opportunity to laugh at her. However, this time it was really her fault that she was too careless. Otherwise it would not give the fire beast a chance. Now that Hayo can be contacted, Yunwu is not so worried. Now I want to see what these fire beasts want to do. Anyway, she can't do without the volcanoes. Want to understand this, when the cloud becomes more indifferent, but then heard the voice of the King of Fire Beasts sitting in front of him. Well, since I've killed so many people in my family and my heart is so arrogant, I'm sure to humiliate you. From today on you will stay in the family and do a good job. Fire Beast King's tone is very casual, as if to say a very common thing. Yunwu nearly fainted. What's the treatment? Why did you let her stay here? Do you do housework? Don't you think you can get out of here by drinking her blood? What is the King of Fire thinking? One side of the Fire Beast Captain is also a face of doubt, but since the Fire Beast King has given the order, he is not good to say anything. At the moment, I could only hold it in my heart, and after watching the cloud dance, I retreated. Yunwu originally stayed here with an incredulous heart, thinking that the Fire Beast King would have other arrangements for her. After all, she was their hope to leave the volcano. But after 3 days, Yunwu was a little depressed. The human, go and pass this to the king. A fire beast maid handed a tray directly to Yunwu's hand and told her. Yunwu's hand sank and nearly dropped it. After a careful look, he found that it was Zhugua who didn't know where to find it. Cloud Dance suddenly surprised. Over there, the maid didn't have the heart to see her at all. She looked down at her fingernails and said, "Go back quickly. There's a lot of work waiting for you here." With that, he turned around and went to chat with other maids. The depression in Yunwu's heart. Why can a little maid command her? And isn't Warcraft supposed to be gregarious? Why do the fire beasts here want to imitate human beings and need human service? Still so much trouble. You know, there are many fire beasts that can't even transform into human form. Although I had a big idea in my heart, I still carried the plate of Zhugua to the place where the fire beast king was. In the room, the King of Fire Beasts sat behind the table, learning from the appearance of human beings, putting on a posture of cultivation, and his whole body was full of hot breath. Yunwu walks over with the tray, puts the plate on the table, turns around and retreats first. Stop. Suddenly, the voice of the King of Fire came from behind, as if he were commanding his servants. Cloud Dance curled his mouth, turned around and looked at the Fire Beast King coldly. Although she is working here now, it doesn't mean that she needs to be servile. Her attitude towards the Fire Beast King has no change before. You're human. Why are you here? The Fire Beast King has retired from the cultivation state. He took Zhugua from the plate and ate it. He raised his eyes and asked Yunwu standing in front of him. Cloud Dance's eyes are placed on the Zhugua that is swallowed into the belly, and I feel heartache silently in my heart. Zhugua. Things that only grow in volcanic areas. If used to refine medicine, the effect is very good. And this thing is very valuable outside, but why is it eaten so directly here? Cloud Dance has been staring at the King of Fire, want to see if the other party will directly eat this thing. Will feel too much energy to cause discomfort. But he soon found that the king of fire beasts seemed to be used to eating, and the zhugua in his hand seemed to be just a pre-meal fruit, without any other influence. You want it too? The fire beast king saw Cloud Dance's line of sight always put on zhugua, can't help but be stupefied for a while, opening to ask away. Seeing that Yunwu didn't deny it, he pushed the plate in the direction of Yunwu again. What I want to eat is more. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to smoke. As expected is to depend on the mountain to eat the mountain, depend on the sea to eat the sea. Now they live near the volcano, so they eat the fruit as a snack. Thank you very much. Cloud Dance Light says, afterward also not polite, directly went forward to take a part of that zhugua. But it didn't eat like the king of fire. Instead it was taken into the space with you. It's better to keep it for future use. After all, she is a human body. It's still a question whether she can bear the fruit. If you take my things you should answer me. The Fire Beast King looked at the action of Cloud Dance and couldn't help saying. Then he asked the previous question again. You are human. Why are you here? Cloud Dance takes Zhugua's hand, and then again takes in the space as before, and then says, accident. Fire Beast King looked at her up and down, and did not continue to ask but said, your flame is very strong. Yunwu nodded and didn't speak. Anyway, what the other party said was the truth. The Fire Beast King didn't mind Cloud Dance's reaction, so he took another zhugua and threw it into his mouth. Yunwu took half of the huge plate of zhugua, and the rest of it was eaten by the Fire Beast King. It seems that there was no difference last time. I hear you're looking for friends? Cloud Dance's whole body's breath a cold. The vision coldly stares at the Fire Beast King, don't know what he asks this words to mean. Fire Beast King alone didn't expect that he casually asked unexpectedly led to this reaction. Had to say, I just casually asked after all, if you are looking for a friend I may know more. Cloud Dance's eyes sank and hid the murderous chi around her. Looking at the Fire King's amiable appearance he could not help saying, thank you but no more. Then he stood up and left the cave. The King of Fire Beasts stayed inside, staring at the back of Yunwu leaving, a thoughtful appearance. King, I don't know why you left her? Clearly she is our hope to leave the volcano. Another passage in the cave out of a figure, some dissatisfied with the Cloud Dance safe away from the figure, complained to the Fire Beast King. However, the Fire Beast King shook his head and said, she is indeed our hope to leave here, but this hope is not to drink her blood. That person alone, some don't understand of looking at Fire Beast King. This is what meaning? The Fire Beast King stood up, went to a cabinet, looked at the picture of a woman hanging on it, and said, how could she tell us the way to leave when she sealed us here? Suck the summoner's blood, I don't know if it's the real way. Besides, even if it's true, is Yunwu's blood enough for so many people in our family? But if you don't try, no one will be able to leave? The King of Fire Beasts shook his head and said, if you try you will never leave. The man looked puzzled. I don't know what that means. The King of Fire turned around and said, the Cloud Dance is unusual. I always feel that making friends with her can help us to leave. After Yunwu left the cave he didn't hear what they said. He was afraid that even if he knew it he would not pay any attention to it. What is friendship with her? The way to make friends is to let her be a servant? If it wasn't for her cultivation that she didn't reply, how could she be reduced to this point? It's depressing to think of Cloud Dance here. I didn't kill those fire beasts, did I hurt them? I just hate myself. But these also can only think about just, at the same time also have to deal with the maid's order. How did you get in so long? Why don't you go and mop the floor? What do you think of the mess? I'll clean up quickly. I'll wipe the table later. I'll clean up all these cabinets. Then go outside and pick more fruits. The king loves to eat them. The maid nagged and ordered a lot of things, then turned away with a proud face. Yunwu looked at the figure of the man leaving, and his eyes were full of sorrow. Late at night, Cloud Dance finally finished the last work in hand, tired almost all over. The first thing to go back to the room is not to have a good rest. Instead, he went directly into the cultivation state and began to check his accomplishments. Yunwu tries to mobilize his cultivation little by little and try to use it. After looking inside, I saw that the array on the dantian had become much weaker, and that cultivation can be mobilized by the cloud dance. It has been able to seep out from the array and started to run along the meridians of the whole body. Yunwu was overjoyed and immediately began to persevere. This action lasted all night. When it was time to get up at dawn, Yunwu finally retired from the cultivation state. According to this progress, I'm afraid I can recover completely tomorrow. Cloud Dance silently estimates in the heart. It's like this every day since I got here. And as the array becomes weaker and weaker, I can recover more accomplishments every night slowly. Yunwu can even feel the connection with her fellow summoners, which makes her excited. Hurry up, get up and work. Outside the room, a maid's voice rang out and called Yunwu to get up. Cloud Dance mouth a hook, a sneer exposed. Wait. When your strength recovers, you must strip off your hair to see if you dare to bash me. The next day, when Yunwu routinely sent Zhugua to the Fire Beast King's table again, there was a report from the cave where few people came in and out. Tell the king, there is a man outside who asked to see him and said he had a baby with him. The fire beast that comes and says respectfully to the Fire Beast King, baby. The king of Fire Beast was stunned. Then he began to laugh at himself and said, we have lived here for so long. When will someone send our baby? Who is that man? The fire beast who came in to report didn't think of it at all. At this time, the Fire Beast King asked, and he reluctantly remembered the man's appearance. Just a very ordinary man. He said he would make a bet with the king. Bet? The Fire Beast King is more curious, and unconsciously glances at the direction of Cloud Dance, as if to say another bet. Cloud Dance pretended not to see the Fire Beast King's eyes, directly ignored the past. What's his bet? The King of Fire continued to ask the reporter. She said that she wanted to fight with the king. If the king wins, he will bring the baby to the king. But if the king loses, he will. The fire beast in the report looked embarrassed and looked at the king's face carefully. What? Fire Beast King asked. I want the king's inner elixir. The reporter finally finished what he had to say. At this time, he was already trembling and sweating. When did he see someone so disrespectful to the king? But the strength of the man outside is really powerful. He sent many people to fight against him in the past. And the other side seems to have no intention to hurt the fire orcs, just said to compete with the king. A pair of except the king who is not qualified to compete with him, looking very uncomfortable. Cloud Dance eyebrows pick, suddenly interested in the baby. To be able to bet with the inner elixir of the baby and the king, you have to have some confidence to say that. Sure enough, as soon as the news came out, the King of Fire was still kind-hearted, and he was not angry at all. What an eventful time. Fire Beast King said coldly, the whole body is permeated with a murderous air. There is a reason why he treats Cloud Dance in a special way. But now, even more than people have to bet with him, but also threaten to his inner alchemy, really hateful. This tone can't be tolerated in any case. Sure enough, it's a fire beast. A little bit of it makes you irritable. Yunwu thought in his heart. At the same time, she considered how to look with the past. She was very curious about the baby who could compete with the Fire Beast King Niden. Go out and have a look. The King of Fire stood up and said to the man. Then he took the lead in the front, but when he was about to leave the cave, he suddenly turned around, looked at the Cloud Dance standing on one side, and said, remember to tidy up the room. The corners of the mouth make complaints about the fire. Outside the Fire Beast settlement, the figure of a man in black stands happily. Standing in such a hot environment, there was nothing defensive around him, but he didn't feel the heat. Even his skin didn't change because of the heat. The Fire Beast King came out surrounded by a group of fire beasts. As soon as he came out, he saw the eye-catching figure, surrounded by a circle of fire beasts from a distance, but no one dared to attack, just looking at it from a distance. The Fire Beast King's eyes sank, and it was obvious that he had a bad impression of the man who came to challenge him. Who are you? The Fire Beast King's figure flashed and went directly to the man in Schwani, looking at him coldly. The face was cold, but the Fire Beast King's heart had been shocked and speechless. The man in front of him just felt like a human, but the human could stand here directly. and there was no ice soul Dan around him. It felt like human summoner? Asked the king, frowning. The man in Schwani smiles a little, and appears to be quite elegant. That's right. It's said that the Fire Beast clan is trapped here. I feel curious, so I come to have a look. I also want to know what the Fire Beast King is like. The Fire Beast King's eyes sank and said coldly, when the human summoner comes here, won't he be afraid to be caught by our family and used as a sacrifice to leave? As soon as the Fire Beast King's words were finished, the man in Schwani burst out laughing and his face was full of sarcasm. Ahahaha, sacrifice. It's up to you to see if you have that ability. Say, Xian Dressman's line of sight in a circle around. Don't dare to come forward of Fire Beast in front of to turn a circle. Finally, with a little sarcasm, he said, if you only rely on these people, it seems that there are some things you can't see enough. In the distance, Yunwu stood quietly in a corner, looking at people coming. She secretly left her life behind, and now her strength has almost recovered. It's very easy for her to escape from the fire beasts whose strength is not very strong. There's always a sense of familiarity in that person. In the sea of knowledge, Hayo's voice sounded again. The baby he brought must be unusual. Maybe you will need it. What do I need? Cloud Dance along. Although for Black Proud said words always believe. But if the other party has something they need so far, what she needs most is to be able to find something for them. Yunwu thought silently in his heart, but didn't dare to say it. You find a chance to bring that baby. Black Ao finally ordered then no longer continued to talk. Cloud Dance thoughtfully looking at the front. Continue to be honest in the dark. The mind is really on the baby. Want my net in? Fire Beast King brow jumped to jump, looking at Shieni Man coldly say, good, if you really can beat me, I will give you inner Dan. The Fire Beast King was so angry that he didn't even ask what the baby was, so he said directly. The Cloud Dance in the dark was worried, but she wanted to know what the baby was. Ha ha ha, I'm afraid you won't dare to fight. Schwani Man a hearty laugh, and then fly directly to the King of Fire. At the same time, a water blue sword appeared directly in the hand. In this hot and dry volcanic group, the water element was caused a huge fluctuation for the first time. Water summoner? Cloud Dance lung for a moment. Isn't it true that summoners have been gone for hundreds of years? How come there's a human summoner here? What's going on? Is the summoner not disappearing, but not appearing in the human world? It's just why. Cloud Dance can't understand this. However, in this place, human cultivation will not be affected by the surrounding environment and suppressed? But in front of this person, even cannot be affected by standing here. Can't help but let Cloud Dance a new look. In the sky, the Fire Beast King directly turned into the Numenon and rushed to the man in Schwani. Boom! Two figures, one big and the other small, collide together, forming a sharp contrast. But the man was a summoner, but he didn't want to summon his own summoner. He just took a long sword to fight with the Fire Beast King. Well, I can't help myself. Fire Beast King also saw this naturally sneered to say, I saw that the King of Fire was enveloped in a fiery red, and the blue came, just like an outsider who suddenly intruded, and seemed very lonely and helpless. Seeing this, the surrounding fire beasts immediately cheered. Come on, King. Teach this guy a lesson. Do you think you are a summoner? The king killed him. Let him know how powerful we are. A lot of cheers came to cheer for the Fire Beast King. Even the Fire Beast King himself felt that his fighting spirit was much stronger. A pair of claws directly attacked Schwani Man, and claws across the air, even left a trace in the air, a moment later dissipated. In the red light, a pair of Fire Beast's eyes appear more bright. Looking at the Schwani Man's eyes are very cold. The man in Schwani didn't seem to care about the Fire King's attack. The palm of his hand waved, and the sword took the claw of the attack lightly. The terrible speed came to his eyes, but it seemed that it was not worth mentioning at all. Cloud Dance pupil a shrink, can't help but some praise. This man's strength is not weak, only afraid of Fire Beast King to suffer. Although he didn't fight with the Fire Beast King, he also inquired about it in recent days, and asked the Fire Beast leader who lost to him at the beginning. Then he had a vague judgment on the strength of the Fire Beast King. Today we will see the battle between the two people, and we will be more sure. Is that the only attack? The man in Schwani said with a light smile. He picked the sword in his hand and resolved the Fire Beast King's attack again. The figure retreats quickly, and the man in Schwani looks at the huge body of the Fire Beast King in front of him. To this moment, the strength of the two people has a vague understanding. Schwani man shook his head with some regret. Alas, it seems that he is another opponent with no strength. I'm afraid you can't get this, baby. You'd better give me your inner pill. The Fire Beast King's eyes are just like the fire coming out of Yuao. Why do you want to give Nathan to him? My cultivation is basically in the inner alchemy. If I hand in the inner alchemy, all my accomplishments for such a long time will be gone. Will he still be the king of fire here? At the thought of this, the Fire Beast King was furious. The mouth of the beast opened, and the hot flame rushed out directly, engulfing the blue light of the man in Xian clothes. Schwani man's face changed. He didn't expect that the flame was so powerful. He quickly dodged, but he was still affected. When he completely dodged, his clothes had been burned in a mess. Fortunately, no one was injured. There are really two ways, Schwani man said in a low voice. Fast in the whole body and wrapped in a layer of water element. Resist the hot environment. Then the next will not waste time with you. After that, the man in Schwani turned his hand, and the blue sword was taken back in an instant. Then his hands closed in front of him, and the next second, the blue summoning array emerged from the foot of the man in Schwani. The most powerful part of the summoner. At this time he was finally summoned by the man in Schwani. And until this moment, Schwani man is really play their own strength. The Fire Beast King's eyes sank slightly, and he heard that there were fire beasts around him talking about it one after another. My God, with another partner, can the king win? What nonsense, the king will win. That's it. Don't talk. But there is another Warcraft. The two ideas quickly spread into the Fire Beast King's ears. His face became more ugly, looking at the Schwani man's eyes more bad. In the distance, Yunwu squints at the war situation in front of her, and makes plans in her heart. If the Fire Beast King is not the first, then she will help directly. The blue summoning array flickers. Unlike other summoners, the summoner has a huge reminder. A small and exquisite figure appears from the summoning array. It is the same size as human beings, but it has a fishtail. Yunwu opened his eyes and couldn't believe it. He looked at the guy with fishtail and murmured, "This is the shark? I didn't expect that his summoner was a chimpanzee. No wonder he was so powerful." Haya was also shocked and said, "It must be the same reason that his water element can resist the heat of the volcano. After all, the chimpanzee itself lives in the sea. In this way, he does not need to transfer water elements from the outside world. He can get a lot of water elements from the chimpanzee himself." Yunwu nodded. Just now she only looked surprised, but did not think of this layer. Blue fishtail, blue hair, blue eyes, a beautiful face, appear from the call. Schwani man a cold drink. Small shark fighting state. As soon as the voice fell, the chimera, who was just beautiful, immediately took the order, and then the light flashed, and the beautiful body changed instantly. A pair of eyes become red. The face and tail become red. The ears open outwards, like gills, and the smooth upper body scales grow out little by little. A moment later, it was just a mermaid, but now it is like a giant fish. Just looking at it makes people feel terrible. I didn't expect that after the change of chimera, it would be like this. Put on airs. Fire Beast King coldly said, just looking at the shark's vision is very bad. At this time, although he was flustered, he still had to make superficial movements. If you're putting on airs, you have to try, Schwani man said with a sneer. Then no matter what the King of Fire said, he just told the shark in a cold voice, "Go ahead, and remember to keep me alive." The chimera made a strange sound. It seemed that he could not speak at all. He could only respond in this way. Then he rushed to the King of Fire quickly. One blue and one red collide together again, but this time blue does not take the lead, but resists with red. The Fire Beast King's face instantly became ugly, and then the mouth of the beast was opened without hesitation, and the hot flame spewed out. Now he did not dare to keep his hand, for fear that he would be destroyed here. The men in black who didn't summon the chimera just now are so powerful, let alone now. You are confident in your own flame. Xuanyi man said with a sneer. That's nature. There was a flash of pride in the king's eyes. His flame is still further than the fire beast captain's, but it is rarely used. All the people don't know how far it is. Now it's time to use it. The red flame rushes towards the chimera. The chimera's eyes flash. Then the blue water element condenses together and rushes towards the red flame like a waterfall. The fire beast king's eyes flashed a touch of ridicule. It seemed that he was ridiculing the man in Xuanyi in an attempt to put out his fire. But the next moment, the sarcastic smile solidified on his face, followed by a flash of shock in his eyes. The blue waterfall seems to be full of aura, which is not the real water, but the condensed pure water element to the extreme. The invincible flame to the blue in front of it, but as if met a nemesis general retreat. A large number of water vapor emission. When water and fire come into contact, the sound of ZZ spreads everywhere. No, it's impossible. How can it be? Fire Beast King Zhenglong of looking at everything in front of, can't believe of murmur. Not only he, but also his people are not willing to believe this scene. The flame of the king has been extinguished? Is that a shark? How could she put out the king's fire? Am I wrong? Are you dreaming? Did the king lose? Did you lose? When the harsh words came to his ears, the king of fire almost felt that the whole world was laughing at him. Even the water element that turned into an attack was about to arrive. Cloud Dance's brow a wrinkly. Immediately after the body shape a flash, directly appeared in front of the fire beast king. The petite body and the huge body of the king of fire became a sharp contrast. The black flame soars into the sky with the momentum of skyrocketing, and a tens of meters of fire rises directly in front of it. When the blue water element contacts the black flame, it is instantly burned and completely evaporated. With a wave of Cloud Dance's hand, the wall of fire was directly removed and turned into a big black flame sword in the palm of his hand. Want to touch him? Let's pass me first. Cloud Dance a cold drink, followed by a wisp of black flame, directly toward the shark entangled in the past. But she flies directly to the man in Xuanyi, and the black flame broadsword cuts down on the man in Xuanyi with extremely fierce momentum. Xuanyi man surprised, did not expect halfway out of a strength so strong Cloud Dance. The speed of the other side is extremely fast. It's obviously an attack from a distance, but it seems that people are in front of them from the beginning. The speed of moving in the middle is so fast that it can almost ignore the time. The man in Xuanyi barely dodges and is just about to ask who the man is. He saw that Yunwu failed in a blow, but he didn't intend to fight at all. He turned around and left. Before he left, he pulled one of the Fire King's wings and directly pulled the dazed Fire King back. Wait. That human. How about another contest? The man in Xuanyi yelled behind him. Cloud Dance reason also ignore. Mention Fire Beast King directly drilled back into the cave, until the depth let him into human form. And outside the cave, the man in Xuanyi seems to be only interested in the most powerful Cloud Dance. He said excitedly, "See Xiaoji, that man's strength is really strong. I really want to compete with her." The chimera was busy with his own affairs, and had no mind to deal with them. After waiting for a long time, the man in Xuanyi found that his shark didn't reply at all. So he turned to see. After leaving the combat state, he turned into the beautiful woman with a gentle face. At this time he was looking at himself in a panic. The corner of the mouth of Xian Yi man smoked to smoke say, "Still give you treatment first." Then he left with the shark. In the cave, Yunwu returns to it. Before he has time to say anything, he feels that the people around him treat him differently, especially the maid who makes herself do this and that all day. "Miss Cloud Dance, this is specially prepared for you. If you have anything you don't like, you can tell me at any time." The maid stood respectfully in front of Yunwu and put a plate of zhugua on the table, flattering. Before she took the above order to let her do coolly, so she wanted to go into a way to let Yunwu do things. However, I didn't expect that the person who had ordered for so long could have such great ability to save his king from outsiders. It's incredible. I see. You step back. Cloud Dance Light said. The reactions of these people were all in her expectation, but what made her care more was the attitude of the Fire Beast King. After sitting in the room for a moment, the King of Fire Beast came in one after another with a group of human fire beasts. Yunwu didn't mean to get up, but just took a light look. All the fire beasts couldn't help but feel embarrassed. In the end, the King of Fire Beasts took the lead in speaking. Miss Cloud Dance, thank you for saving your life today. As soon as the Fire Beast King opened his mouth, he mentioned the help to the grace of saving lives. In fact, if it wasn't for Yunwu, how could the waterfall condensed by blue water elements come down? It's really a fatal danger for a fire beast like him. It's no exaggeration to say that it's life-saving. Cloud Dance looked at him, not moved, but said, "Just talk about it." The fire beasts looked at each other. Miss Cloud Dance, we didn't treat you well before. I didn't know that you were so strong. I thought you were just making trouble, so please forgive me for neglecting. A fire beast came forward, and in a few words he got rid of everything. Cloud Dance sneers. Don't know? Before that, when I competed with your captain, did no one tell me the news? The fire beasts were stunned and then turned red. It's true that this statement is too reluctant. Many people saw the competition that day, but they said they didn't know for a moment. Everyone's eyes became a little guilty. Yunwu didn't wait to see them. He turned to the King of Fire and asked, I saved you. Should you help me? Fire Beast King Alung, then inexplicably smile for a while, said, But you hurt my family so many lives, can only save me today? Your people have come to embarrass me on purpose. They even want to eat me. I think I have been lenient. Besides, haven't you punished me for this for a long time? The punishment of Yunwu naturally refers to a few days of listening to people's instructions here. But hearing this in the ears of several fire beasts, they blame them for treating her like that. However, the fire beasts were also very upset. They knew that this woman was powerful, but they didn't expect that she was even more powerful than the Fire Beast King. Originally, I expected the Fire Beast King to suppress her, or the medicine to persist for a period of time, but I didn't expect that the strength of the other party had recovered in just a few days. For a moment, all the fire beasts stopped talking. So what does Miss Yunwu want to do? In the end, it was the Fire Beast King who first regained his sense. Looking at Yunwu, he asked carefully. Yunwu looked up at him and said, I'm looking for some friends. They may be lost around here. It's too much trouble for me to find it alone. As soon as Yunwu's words were finished, the Fire Beast King immediately understood what he should do and said, Okay, I'll send someone to look for it. Then, before you find it, please ask Miss Yunwu to stay in the family. Yunwu frowned slightly. As soon as he wanted to retort, he heard another fire beast say, The man outside didn't go far, but went to heal his summoned beast. Maybe he will come back soon, and then he will trouble Miss Yunwu. Yunwu nodded, which was to deal with the matter. From that day on, this mission spread throughout the fire orcs. Find other people left in the volcano group, and report back as soon as you find any trace. As soon as the task came out, the whole Fire Beast clan was busy for this task. Yunwu looked at the appearance of these people, nodded with satisfaction, and then continued to wait for the arrival of the man in black that day. Until that day, there was another report. King. The man came again and said that he wanted to fight with Miss Yunwu. If he agreed, he would give the baby to Miss Yunwu. If he lost, he would ask Miss Yunwu to take the king for the baby. The reporter took a careful look at Yunwu sitting beside him and said, Cloud Dance, a face indifferent, sit on the chair. Hear this words, can't help but show a sneer. Oh. You tell him that I don't want to compare with him to see if his baby is attractive to me. After hearing this, the Fire Beast turned his head and looked at the King of Fire Beast. Seeing that the other side also nodded, he turned and went out. Cloud Dance did not speak, still sitting there waiting for the results. After a while, the person who just went out came in again in a hurry and said to Yunwu. The man outside said that the baby he brought was the flower of Rattan. With a bang, Yunwu clapped his hand on the table excitedly. Before anyone else could react, he rushed out directly, leaving the fire beasts in the cave staring at each other. King this. The fire beast carefully looked at the King of Fire Beast, who was standing on one side and didn't speak, and found that there was no angry look on his face, so he was relieved. On the other side, a fire beast with a long standing in the clan came forward and said to the king of fire beast, "King, look at her. I'm afraid she is very interested in that thing. If she wants to stand on the side of men, what should we do?" What he said was just what the king of fire was worried about, and he frowned when he was asked. After a long time, the king of fire finally said, "Go out and have a look." A group of people walked towards the outside. Outside the cave, there have long been groups of fire beasts. The archetype has already appeared in the sky. On the ground, there are still a large number of fire beasts in the shape of human beings. They surround the whole volcano group, and the man in black stands in the middle. "Why haven't you come out yet? Is it because the baby I brought is not touching enough?" The man in Schwani squints and smiles at the entrance of the cave, turning a blind eye to the surrounding fire beasts. How arrogant. Do you think Miss Yunwu can help you deal with our king with that flower? How could it be the fire beast that one side surrounds to watch sneers? Although I don't know why Miss Yunwu has been put in the cave for so many days, she still wants to help them. But just looking at the attitude of Yunwu and the king, I think Yunwu will help them. That's right. At that time, this man doesn't know how he died. Do you think he is a good summoner? Miss Cloud Dance is the most powerful. What is this person? Many fire beasts have different opinions. They boast Cloud Dance as if it is the best master in the world, but they dare not go forward. They all see the strength of the man in black clothes. The terrible appearance of the chimera after entering the fighting state makes these fire beasts who are also Warcraft have some palpitations. Schwani Man's vision flashed over the fire beasts who were talking. Finally, he slowly listened to the person who was closest to the entrance and asked, "Why hasn't the person come out yet? Didn't you bring my message in? If I don't come out again, I'll break in myself." As soon as the Schwani Man's words were finished, many fire beasts looked at each other one after another. When they were hesitant to go in again, a figure rushed out of the cave directly. Schwani Man's eyelids jump, a natural sense of danger to remind him. Let him quickly flash to the side. A hot flame almost wiped the corner of his clothes. "Come up and do it directly? Aren't you afraid you won't get the baby after you kill me?" Schwani Man said with a smile, his eyes lit up a touch of war, as if the Cloud Dance standing in front of him was not his enemy, just an opponent. Cloud Dance hands on the black flame big knife to the shoulder a resistance. Lung Yen looking at the Schwani Man standing in front. Did not expect that his reaction is so fast. Directly will attack flash past. Can't help but some new look. "Didn't you say you wanted to compete with me? If you're afraid, don't compete." Cloud Dance coldly looking at front of Xian dress man mouth say. With a smile, the man in Schwani exclaimed, "You have personality, but how do you know you can give me the king of fire beast?" Cloud Dance looked at him, but did not answer this question. Instead, he turned to ask, "How can you make sure that what you have in your hand is really the flower of Rattan? And how can you guarantee that after I give you the Fire Beast King, you can give me the Rattan flower?" The man in Schwani was caught off guard by these two questions and couldn't think of a good answer for a moment. "I couldn't help but be silent for a long time, and then I burst out laughing. Not bad, but a smart woman." Cloud Dance looks at the appearance of the man in Schwani, with the same expression, and doesn't feel any joy because of the praise from the other party. After a while, the man seemed to have had enough of his smile. Then he said, "Since you don't believe me, I'll show you my sincerity first." With that, he took out a jade box and raised it. As soon as the jade box appears, Yunwu's eyes suddenly stare at the jade box and never leave. If you don't guess wrong, I'm afraid that what she has been looking for is the flower of Rattan. Cloud Dance's eyes become a little eager, but things are still trying to put down the look. There is no gaffe. His eyes glanced at the man in Schwani holding the jade box. Yunwu was waiting for him to take the next step. Schwani Man didn't mind. "Since you want to see it, let's let you have a look for a while." After that, he threw the jade box directly to Yunwu. The jade box crossed an arc in the air and went straight to the clouds. There are so many fire beasts in the field, but no one dares to fight. Cloud Dance mouth corner smoked. This person's courage also too big? If someone suddenly rushes out to rob the baby, She is not responsible. Although I think so in my heart, Yunwu's action has already followed. Facing the direction of the jade box, I gently lift the hand to make the jade box steady. At the beginning, the jade box didn't feel cold at all. On the contrary, it sent out a warm breath. Even if it was held in the hand, it still couldn't feel the energy. Yunwu knew it was a good thing, but he didn't rush to open it. Before eating the fire beast team leader's deficit, cause her now nervous, Sichuani man so easily gave things to his hand. I can't help but have some doubts. After a moment's hesitation, I didn't open it after all. As soon as I raised my hand, it was a parabola again. The jade box returned to the man's hand. It's better for you to open it, Cloud Dance Light said. Xuani man alung, corners of the mouth can't help but evoke a smile. Little guy is very aware of vigilance. Yunwu frowned. It was the first time that she heard other men call her by a similar name except Long Qingxia. Although there are some differences, but the heart is still very resistant. Cloud Dance can't help but think in the heart. Why does Long Qingxia call her like that at the beginning? She won't be so disgusted? Just because the person in front of her called her. It made her feel unacceptable? But without waiting for Yunwu to think deeply, Xuani man has made the next move. Since you don't want to open it, I'll have to do it for you. Say, Xian dress man slowly opened the jade box on the hand. In an instant, the rich and fresh energy came out of the jade box and spread to all directions, making the lifeless volcano seem to have vitality. It's really the flower of rattan. Cloud Dance pupil shrink, looking at the jade box, eyes also eager a lot. But in a twinkling, that just opened a little jade box, then again was covered by the man in Xuani. How? Do you believe it now? Xuani man said with a smile. A face appears especially warm and moist as jade. But the fire beasts around are ready to move. Especially the middle and high-level people who just came out of the cave are eager to look at the man in Xuani. Just now, they all clearly felt that they could have the power of wood to change the volcanic environment. What a treasure! Not only the high-level members of the fire orcs, but also the ordinary fire orcs who were watching around talked about it one after another. Their faces were full of surprise, excitement and curiosity. Sealed in this place for so long, they have long been used to the volcanic environment. Although I still yearn for the outside life, the idea of leaving here is not so much a strong desire as a kind of obsession. I desperately want to leave here. But just now, the appearance of the rattan flower and the smell it brought completely inspired the fire beasts' yearning for the seal. They wanted to leave here immediately and find a comfortable place, even if they lived in seclusion. What was that? Is that the flower? It seems to be very powerful. It's the flower of rattan. There is a fire beast said to the one before. There is a tone of excitement. What is that? Even the environment here can be changed. If we can get it, there will be no difference between living here and living outside. One by one, the flower of rattan has a strong interest. But because of the presence of Yunwu and Xuani men, even they were salivating, but still did not dare to step forward. Cloud Dance covered the joy in his eyes, and his face became calm, as if he had not been attracted by the fire of the rattan. Only a cold voice came out of his mouth and spread to the man in Xuani. What do you want? The man in Xuani smiles slightly, as if his reaction to Yunwu is just expected. It's nothing. As long as you don't help them, you'd better give me the Fire Beast King. Of course, if you can have a try with me, I think I will be more happy. With this, the fire beasts around suddenly became angry. No way. How can Miss Yunwu betray our king because of you? If so, you'd better take your baby and go straight away. Miss Cloud Dance, don't listen to him. Even if you go with the king, maybe he won't give you the treasure. It's better to rob it directly. Cloud Dance lowered her eyes and slowly thought about what she should do. Why is the flower of rattan on the man in Xuani? Does he have nothing to do with the people in the world of Mudu? Or does he know how to get back to the border of Mudu from here? At the thought of this, Cloud Dance suddenly had some hope. If so, it can make friends with him. Just ask her to trade the King of Fire for Yunwu. Turned his head and looked at the Fire Beast King standing in the middle of a group of people in the distance with deep eyes. The Fire Beast King could not help shivering. He drew from the corner of his mouth and muttered in his heart. She won't really give me away, will she? It's clear that I've treated her well during this period of time. But this is only a way to make complaints about it. If someone else hears them, someone will say, "You have all asked people to be a servant, and you said they are not thin on her." The corner of Cloud Dance's mouth stirs up a sneer. See the reaction of Fire Beast King, then know what he is thinking in the heart. I immediately made a decision. Let you treat me as a servant, now let you teach me a long lesson. With this thought, the Cloud Dance figure moved, and all the fire beasts were surprised. They just felt that the Cloud Dance, which had just stood in front of them, suddenly did not change. They could not react quickly. Xuanyi Man's eyes to Yunwu also became a little playful. Seeing such a good skill, he wanted to compete more. Little Chimera, who is more powerful than your ice crystal water and the flame before her? The man in Xuanyi asked his own summoner in his consciousness. There was a moment of silence. That day's flame is not to see. That strange black flame seems to be unable to flash past. In the end, I don't know why it went out suddenly, but she didn't put it out. I think that the human summoner is more powerful. But this small shark also can only think in the heart, did not say directly. I don't know that either. Maybe I'll know after the competition. Xuanyi Man is eager to try. It seems that you also want to have a competition. I'll talk to her later to see if you can have a duel. Is that what you think? When did I say I wanted to compete? Make complaints about the characteristics of your love test. What time can you change it? Miss Cloud Dance. The king is very kind to you. You can't attack him just because of a flower. Miss Cloud Dance, stop. Miss Cloud Dance. At the entrance of the cave, it has been a mess for a long time. It turned out that when the Cloud Dance figure appeared again, it came directly to the Fire Beast King. Then he grabbed him by the shoulder and directly lifted him out of the Fire Beast's encirclement and returned to his original position. Those Fire Beasts see Cloud Dance on the hand to carry of person. Immediately one by one all froze. I didn't expect that Yunwu would really attack their king for a baby. They began to talk. I don't know if it's influenced by the strength of Cloud Dance. All of these people are just persuading without any export threat. Cloud Dance coldly looked at them, not moved at all, but looked down at the Fire Beast King with a bit of banter, and said, Feng Shui turns around in turn, heaven spared who? The King of Fire was helpless. I only wonder why I wanted Yunwu to be a factotum at the beginning. It's better to change it into something else. He didn't worry about being betrayed by Yunwu. Although he didn't know why, he always felt that Yunwu had a power to convince and reassure others. Even now he obediently let the Cloud Dance toss, and even will soon be sent to others as a prisoner, but still choose to believe in the Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance mouth corner a hook, big step meteor of walk to Xian Dressman's in front. Complexion again restored cold. The hand of the people without hesitation to push out said, People have arrived, rattan flowers. Xuanyi Man lightly looked at the Fire Beast King, but didn't care, as if he didn't take him seriously at all. Instead, she turned her head and looked at Yunwu with a smile and said, Miss Yunwu is really neat. I see that you have extraordinary strength and are a summoner. Why don't you compare with us? Yunwu frowned and said in a cold voice, Okay, you give me the flowers of the rattan first, and then you can finish the transaction. As soon as the man in Xuanyi heard Yunwu's promise, he was immediately happy and laughed even more happily. It's easy to say that if you can win me in the competition with me, I have other good things for you, not to mention the flowers of rattan. There are only things you can't think of in the world, and there's nothing I can't find. Xuanyi Man said while taking out the jade box again. Yunwu pushes the Fire Beast King over, and takes the flower of rattan from his hand. After careful inspection, it is sure that there is no problem, so he puts the jade box away. What's up? Can you compete with me now? Xuanyi Man put the King of Fire Beast stun aside, but he didn't mean anything. Instead, he turned around and said excitedly to Yunwu, Now that Yunwu has got something, he will not talk with men, let alone compete. Now Light said, Thank you. Then turn around and leave. Xuanyi Man alone hurried forward to a Cloud Dance's cape. How can you do this? Just now I said that I would have a contest, But now I don't mean what I say. Cloud Dance brow a wrinkly, looking at that pull the hand of oneself cape, cold voice say, let go. The man in Schwani said, don't let go. You have to compete with me before I can let you go. Otherwise you don't want to go back today. Anyway, you give the king of these fire beasts to me, and I won't be treated to go back. Cloud Dance is too lazy to talk with him. With a turn of his hand, a strong force directly lifts the man out, and then he turns and leaves. Not far away, the man in Schwani fell to the ground, but his hair was not hurt. Immediately, a fierce man jumped up from the ground and excitedly said to Yunwu's back, it's so fierce. It's even worse than yesterday. No, I must have a good competition with you. After that, regardless of whether Yunwu agrees or not, the surging water element emerges little by little, turns into ice blades in the air, and stabs directly at the back of Yunwu's heart. Cloud Dance heard Schwani Man's words, is thinking, that is because yesterday's strength did not recover. Today is the time to completely recover. I suddenly felt that in this hot environment, a touch of cold air came directly from behind. I quickly dodged to one side to see if I had dodged the ice blades. The ice blade hit the ground, making a crackling sound, just like the broken glass. A moment later, it turned into water and finally evaporated. My God, he was able to condense ice. The fire beast gate is boiling again. Just now, the fire beasts, who were angry because Cloud Dance handed over the fire beast king, were even more surprised at the Schwani Man's technique. You know, in volcanoes, let alone ice, it's hard to find a little water. Here it's the defense of water warcraft. Even the most powerful water warcraft is hard to use water attack here. But this man, not only used the water element, even can condense into ice. Cloud Dance's eyes on the evaporation of water elements can't help squinting. It's good to have a chimera as a summoner. It can provide enough elements for itself. Yunwu thought. In such a place as the volcano, it's hard for her to condense the ice blade, but the man in front of her can do it easily, as if it's just a very common thing, which is not worth mentioning at all. Cloud Dance can't help but have interest. Since you want to compete like this, I'll beat you to your heart's content, Cloud Dance coldly said. However, you just said the words still calculate. Schwani Man Alung immediately smile. Of course if you win, I'll go to find you the world's treasure. Baby, I don't want one. I just want one ready-made. Cloud Dance said, pointed to the fire beast king lying unconscious on the ground, said, give him back to me. There was silence in the whole room. No one thought that Yunwu had such a hand. If he really won, he was afraid that the man in Schwani didn't get anything, and he paid for the flowers of rattan in vain. Ha ha ha, I knew Miss Yunwu was still facing us. How could she betray the king so easily? It turns out that Miss Yunwu is ready in advance. Even if the man doesn't make a disdainful request, Miss Yunwu will try to save the king. I see. Miss Yunwu is really a good person. Among the different opinions, those fire beasts have already pushed Yunwu to a new height, and even the previous resentment caused by Yunwu's handing over the fire beast king has all dissipated. The man in Schwani looked at the king of fire lying on the ground. It was not light just now. It was estimated that he would wait a long time to wake up. Originally, he wanted to bind the fire beast king just to take his inner elixir. That inner elixir is not necessary for him. It's just that he can help to cultivate. But if he wants to let go of it, wouldn't it be a waste of time? Cloud Dance is not anxious, standing there quietly waiting, as long as the man does not want her to turn away. Master, is Naiden important or competition important? Small mackerel see Schwani Man so tangled. Can't help but get voice to remind away. This reminds really let Xian dress man wake up. Why hesitate? Which is important, which is not okay. So the man in Schwani bit his teeth, nodded to Yunwu and said, good. I promise you. The little mackerel was depressed. She clearly wants her master to choose Naiden. However, Naiden is more important, but she forgets that in the master's eyes, no matter what, she can't compete with an expert once. Because her master thinks that only by fighting with a master can he make himself understand cultivation faster. What's more, this is a rare summoner in 100 years. Schwani Man has a feeling that he is a good match. Anyway, he has to compete with Yunwu. Cloud danced the corner of the mouth. A hook nodded. Good, then compare. The surging energy suddenly emerged, wrapped the cloud dance in it, and a black flame sword appeared in the palm of the palm. But this time, there was no black flame on it. Yunwu knows that Xuanyi man's skill must be extraordinary, so she wants to fight with him with strength rather than crush him with her own flame. The man in Xuanyi brightened up, especially his eyes, full of boundless fighting spirit. With a light palm, a long sword appeared in his hand, which was quite suitable for his elegant temperament. The water element condenses in the whole body, and a light blue light is emitted. Without saying a word, they rushed to each other directly. The weapons in their hands collided with each other, making a ping-ping sound, and a spark from time to time. They didn't use the power of elements, and they didn't summon their own summoner. Just like two warriors who only have brute force, you come and I go. Come on, Miss Cloud Dance. We must defeat him. He's not your match, Miss Yunwu. Beat him up. Save the king. Dare to come to our fire beast's territory. Let you see the power of Miss Yunwu. The fierce battle between the two attracted the surrounding fire beast gate to cheer for the cloud dance. Yunwu is more brave than before. She only thinks that the opponent's skill is really good, which makes her feel like she is a good match. It's different from fighting desperately when dealing with Shangguanli. The fight with Shangguanli can arouse her potential, and such a fight can make her find her own shortcomings. Have a good time. Xuanyi man, a big drink. Just feel as if for a long time did not fight so thoroughly. Look at Cloud Dance, eyes more bright, full of war. Yunwu didn't say a word, but her shining eyes also revealed her idea. Obviously, she also thought so. This battle was really enjoyable. In a moment, however, they fought for 200 rounds. The black flame sword and the long sword collided from time to time. Even in the face of Guwu's sword, the long sword didn't lose at all. Yunwu guessed that the sword was a good weapon, but the man was really full of treasure. After several rounds, Yunwu and Yunwu retreated one after another with the sound of bang and the collision of weapons, and their eyes were full of praise. I didn't expect to meet such a powerful summoner here. Haha, it's a worthwhile trip. The man in Xuanyi laughs openly. His long hair is in a mess. A few strands of hair hang down in front of his forehead, but he doesn't look embarrassed. On the contrary, he adds a kind of beauty. I didn't expect that either. Cloud Dance also said. The surging power radiated in their bodies. On top of the black flame sword, the black flame slowly emerged with a touch of strange energy, which made people feel scared at a glance. On the other hand, the man in Xuanyi had a warm and casual smile on his face, but the blue light around him was more dazzling, and finally gathered on the sword in his hand. They knew that since the ancient Wudao sword could match the long sword in Xuanyi man's hand, even if the water element and fire element were added to it, it would not change the current situation. Almost at the same time, two kinds of light suddenly flickered at the feet of the two people. It turned out that they summoned their own summoner at the same time. The surrounding fire beasts have opened their eyes to see this scene. As a warcraft, it is an eye-opener to see this scene. Oh my god, is that the call formation? What warcraft will come out? They had seen the chimera the day before, so the blue light in front of the man in Xuanyi changed to red with his battle form, which was just a moment's surprise. Then he put his eyes on Yunwu. In the light of the call array, the golden light shines, and a high voice of foaming rings out. Then, the fire beast saw a golden body, holding the phoenix head high, as if the supreme and noble warcraft flew out of the call array. My god! It's Phoenix! It's Phoenix! There is fire beast excited called. At the same time there is a trace of fear. The essence of fire beast also belongs to flying birds. The phoenix is the king of birds, and the little stink is the pure blood demon phoenix. Naturally, there is a kind of racial pressure on them. When they see the phoenix, they have a kind of submission from the deep soul. The fire beast king turns to wake up and rubs his back neck, which is still in pain. When he sees the phoenix, he is stunned. Foam Phoenix, it's really Phoenix. No wonder Miss Cloud Dance is so powerful. It turns out that her summoner is Phoenix. That's amazing. It's worthy of Miss Cloud Dance. Even Phoenix can accept it. The sound of the fire beasts came into the fire beast king's ear, which made him feel very surprised. At this time he was very glad that he had not poisoned Yunwu, otherwise he was afraid that things would be in trouble. Xuanyi Man is also very surprised. Originally thought that he was a summoner is a very rare thing. But here I met Cloud Dance, who is also a summoner, and even looks stronger than myself. I thought I had a shark as a summoner. Even if I met other summoners, I would show off enough, but I didn't expect Cloud Dance to summon Phoenix. Xuanyi Man almost thought that this Cloud Dance was intended to hit him, but then, Xuanyi Man's eyes became more heated. I didn't expect that your summoner would be a phoenix. Well, let me try the fighting power of this phoenix. Little Stinky skimmed his mouth, looked at a pair of beasts in Xuanyi Man's eyes, and then turned his head and looked at Yunwu plaintively. Why does Mama want him to come out? Can't Hongling come? That Stink likes this place best. The environment of this place is so bad, and he is sleeping, so he called it out directly. Cloud Dance read Little Stinky mood. Can't help but mouth a hook said. You are the most powerful, don't look for you to look for who? After hearing this, Xiao Stinky's face was better. Then he turned around and looked at the man on the other side who had already entered the fighting state. Small Stink-a-lung. The beast eye is full of surprise, and the shark also because of the first time to see the phoenix become extremely shocked. The light of the summoning array disappears, but the two stunned warcraft are staring at each other. After a long time, Little Smelly suddenly turned his head and said, It's so ugly. Cloud Dance seems to hear the sound of fire beasts falling from the sky. Bang and bang. Who do you think is ugly? The small chimera listens to the small stinky words, immediately stares an eye to say. She hates people saying that she is beautiful, but the fighting form is frightening. But this is common sense and a kind of spiritual deterrent. But no one has ever dared to say that they are ugly. Even in the fighting state, they are terrible and powerful. Now they are despised by a phoenix for being ugly. Shark's self-esteem is very strong. You say that there is no good end. The little shark stares at the phoenix, angry. Little Stink took another look at her and continued to dislike her. You are ugly. The little chimera could not bear it any longer, and even without waiting for the master's command, he glared at the little Stink with a pair of eyes and roared. I'll kill you, stinking phoenix. You're ugly. You are the ugliest. Little Smelly Smell was said to be Smelly Phoenix by others, but also angry. How dare you say I am Smelly Phoenix? And said I was ugly. I tell you, I'm the most beautiful phoenix in the whole phoenix family. You smelly fish with eyes, I'll burn you to death. Two streamers of gold and red collided with each other one after another, and without saying a word, they fought directly into a regiment. Cloud Dance and Xian Dress Man, two people stand on one side respectively, who also didn't think that the thing will develop into such. Although the chimeras of the men in black clothes are very rare, the phoenix dancing in the clouds is not afraid at all. If the ordinary phoenix may also have some difficult to say win or lose, but for a small Stink with pure yang yan, it is unbearable to mention. Irritated him? Just make a little fire. The summoned beast becomes a group, but Yunwu doesn't plan to release other partners. Now she probably knew the strength of Xuanyi Man, leaving only a small Stink to deal with. The chimera is not the opponent of Little Stink at all. It won't be long before Little Stink can free his hand. As for now, Yunwu looks up at the man in black behind the shark, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Have you had enough rest? The cold voice of Cloud Dance came to the ears of the man in Xuanyi. When the man looked up, he saw that the black flame sword on Yunwu's hand was emitting a long black light, and the Yunwu's skin was even whiter. Xuanyi Man was stunned, and suddenly he was fascinated. Then he said with a smile, Rest? Do I need a rest? The next moment, the man in Xuanyi waved his sword and rushed to Yunwu. Bang, the sound of weapons colliding. Just this time, when the two weapons are connected, the black fire element and the blue water element will not give way to each other, trying to swallow each other down. Xuanyi Man's heart is startled. He looks up incredulously at the black flame dagger injured by the cloud and fog, and says, What a fierce fire. Cloud Dance mouth a hook. Know that the other party must be in two elements when they feel the fierce black flame. You know, too late. Xuanyi Man suddenly thought of something and looked up. In the air, The phoenix bathed in the golden light and the red shark were fighting in full swing. Just don't know why, the shark launched several attacks in a row. But the golden phoenix didn't use any moves. What's the situation? Xuanyi Man looks at Yunwu suspiciously. Clinker. Waiting for him is not Yunwu's answer, but a big black knife. Xuanyi Man quickly to one side can avoid this attack. How did you attack? Xuanyi Man angrily flashed to one side and roared at Yunwu. Oh, is that right? Cloud Dance light response way. The voice is cool and pleasant to hear, but brought a trace of ridicule. When fighting, distraction is very deadly. The man in Xuanyi found that he was only concerned about Xiao Ji and forgot that he was still fighting with Yunwu. At this time, he was shocked by this and was immediately embarrassed. Yunwu didn't care whether he was embarrassed or not, and then the attack came up. When he chopped at the man's head, Gu Wu's sword reversed in the air, bringing a burst of Huhu wind, which increased the sharpness of Yunwu's attack. The man in Xuanyi was coping with it, looking at the direction of the shark from time to time. Seeing that the other party was teased like a cat catching a mouse, few of the attacks released could hit the golden phoenix, and the other party didn't move. So he looked at her and made a joke. The man in Xuanyi was relieved. At least it doesn't have to be burnt. Xuanyi Man mumbles in his heart, and has admitted that his strength is not as good as Yunwu. Yunwu's attack became more and more fierce, as if he didn't know he was tired. The speed was not slow, but faster and faster. Xuanyi Man finally did not have the energy to distract himself to see the situation of the shark, so he quickly concentrated on the cloud dance. Until the surrounding fire beasts issued a cry. The golden phoenix looked at the tired and panting shark in front of him with a sarcastic face and said, "Cut, you still want to deal with me? It's your dream. You can't even attack me. What are you fighting? Just being tired can kill you and make you angry." Little Smelly was very proud of him, but he didn't do anything about him now. You have the ability, don't hide." Xiaoqi angrily looks at the golden phoenix and cheers coldly, but sees the idiot look in each other's eyes. Suddenly angry, yelled. The water elements around the body quickly emerged, the original blue light in this moment even a little bit shrinking. As if there is life in general with the heartbeat of the shark, a little bit of contraction, amplification. Small stinky eyes become a little more serious. Know that this is her brewing a powerful trick, heart secretly alert. On the other side, the man in Xuanyi was shocked. The girl's summoner was really extraordinary, and he could force the little shark to use that move, but the phoenix didn't really use that move until now. In the air, the little shark bathed in blue light is like a touch of bright red and blue, which makes everyone around feel strange. The golden phoenix also looks up at the brewing call in front of him. I saw that under the condensation of water elements, even the air seemed to be affected. A pair of animal eyes were quietly waiting for the attack, but they didn't mean to be afraid. The blue light around the chimera condensed to the extreme, as if it could merge into an ocean, which made the fire beasts who had lived in the volcanic group for a long time keenly feel a trace of obvious moisture. Finally, the chimera, who had just been silent for a long time, suddenly raised his head and let out a long cry from his mouth. Wow! Different from Fengming, a little stinky and dignified, the chimera's cry is sharp and full of murderous. At the same time, the water element that condensed to the extreme suddenly rushed towards the golden phoenix. Where we have been, we are invincible. The fiery hot volcanoes seem to have met a strong enemy. As the water element passes by, the hot temperature drops suddenly. Then, the blue light flashed, and all the places were frozen. In one move, turn the volcano into an iceberg. What kind of move is this? That gathered into an arrow of water elements, with a strong momentum toward the golden phoenix, speed and between comparison. It is a difference. Be careful. The Fire Beast King takes the lead to export. Before the move starts, he says to the golden phoenix in a hurry. But the golden phoenix did not seem to hear the general. When the powerful attack came, the moment was submerged by blue light. Just now, the phoenix with golden light was frozen into an ice sculpture in an instant, which was particularly strange among the volcanoes. There was a burst of sobbing in the fire heard. Hiss, it's terrible that it can freeze directly. It's a real shark. In such a place, it can turn a volcano into an iceberg. It's an active volcano. It can erupt at any time. It's terrible, her strength is so strong. The voices of the people came into Yunwu's ears, but she remained silent, as if the frozen one was not her summoner. The man in Xuani had a warm smile on his face and said to Yunwu, "Your summoner is frozen. It seems that you have lost? Why don't you seem to be in a hurry at all?" Cloud Dance glanced at him and said faintly, "It's too early to be happy now." Xuani Man was stunned and looked at the frozen golden phoenix, then frowned. And he had the same reaction as the little chimpanzees in the sky. The little shark, who had just finished the trick, was a little weak, but he looked at the little stink immediately, and then he was stunned. How could that be? The little shark murmured in his heart. She is very confident in her big move. Even in the volcanic group, once this move is released, it will be frozen. And the frozen place, those who have no time to escape, can only be frozen, whether it is warcraft or human, will not bear the cold. From the inside out all the ice, even the internal organs and blood in the body will be frozen. In that case, even if you survive, you will become useless. But the little shark found that the golden phoenix in front of him was just frozen on the surface, and the freezing power could not penetrate into his body. We must take advantage of the victory and pursue it. Small Shark and Zhenglong after quickly made a judgment. Since this move can't defeat him, then use now and attack again. Although his physical strength was still weak, the little mackerel immediately summoned the water element again. The faint blue light formed around him and finally turned into ice blades, attacking the golden phoenix which had been frozen into ice. Just when everyone thought that the golden phoenix, frozen into ice, was doomed to be unable to survive under this blow, a miracle happened. When the ice blade touched the ice, it stopped instantly, as if there was some magical force controlling their attack. They all cast their eyes on Xiao Sha, thinking that she had stopped at the critical moment, but they found that Xiao Sha was also looking at her face inexplicably, and her face was full of surprise. In the silent scene, even if there were hundreds of fire beasts, no one made a sound. In this case suddenly came a tick. This is the sound of water drops. The little shark's eyes became unbelievable, and he looked at the frozen golden phoenix with big eyes. Then there was another tick. Tick, 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 one after another, one after another. The sound was more and more tight, and the sound was more and more clear. The people were more and more afraid to make a sound, and even the sound of breathing was lighter. Finally, the frozen ice of the golden phoenix melted rapidly at the speed visible to the naked eye. Little Mackerel is almost sure that the other side can directly melt the ice. The reason why he keeps the current speed is just to let everyone see clearly. Realizing this, the anger in the little shark's heart was more obvious, but there was a feeling of incomparable frustration. From birth to now, has he ever met an enemy? Just did not expect. Today unexpectedly defeated on this phoenix's body. But the fight did not come to the last step. She would not give up, even if she knew the outcome of defeat. The ice blades attacked the golden phoenix. Even though they are weaker than each other, they still attack persistently. Your chimpanzee is persistent enough. Cloud Dance looks at the small shark that attacks ceaselessly, can't help but praise away. But the words in Xuani Man's ears seemed to laugh at him. Who let him say that before? The man in Xuani couldn't help but smile bitterly and said, "Well, perseverance is a good thing." Finally, the sound of foaming broke through the world and successfully attracted everyone's attention. Red as blood flame from the body of the golden phoenix emerged, like a rebirth in general. Little Stinky flies out of it with her head raised. Her long phoenix tail crosses a beautiful arc in the air. A beast's eye has the brilliance of looking down on all living beings, as if she was born with such dignity. If I don't do it to you, do you really think I have no ability? Small Stink, a pair of drag appearance, looking down at Small Shark, said, I tell you, even if I take out a little bit of ability, I can crush you to death directly. I don't want to fight you, but you've got to fight. Xuani Man turned his head and looked at Yunwu. Is this what I learned from you? Yunwu pretended not to hear, still looking at the golden phoenix in the sky. Seeing that the fire on Xiao Smelly's body was not pure Yangyan, Yunwu understood why the ice was thawing so slowly. I think it's because Xiao Smelly doesn't want to shake out all his cards, so he just makes the previous flame. If it's pure yang, I'm afraid that the degree of ice will collapse in a moment. Xiao Xia looks at the golden phoenix in front of him. Although he is full of frustration, he still stares at Xiao Smelly. Anyway, he won't lose the battle, will he? But in the small stink, the other side is just dying. At the moment, with a cold hum, the hot flame directly attacked the little shark, accompanied by a small stinky angry cry. Look, I won't make you a roast fish. Little shark's eyes finally showed a fluster. But the speed of little stink is not comparable to her. Even though she has tried her best to dodge to one side, she still can't dodge. In her eyes, she is soon filled with red. Ah, my little mackerel. The fire surrounded the little chimera, but it was the man in Xuani who didn't know when to stand beside Yunwu. After the man in Xuani yelled, he quickly pulled Yunwu's sleeve and said with red eyes, Okay, you take back the Fire Beast King, Knighton. I don't want it. Please tell your phoenix not to hurt my little shark. I have a deep friendship with little shark. I've known her for many years. If she died here because of my momentary mood, I'll be good all my life uneasy. Cloud dance and the heart feel funny. At this time will even pull to conscience uneasiness. In this case, why did you have to compete at the beginning? If it's someone else, I'm afraid that the man in black clothes and his summoner can't survive. But Yunwu is not the kind of heartless person. Since the other party has decided to return the Fire Beast King, she doesn't need to kill her. The scorching fire surrounded the little shark. From the outside, it was impossible to tell whether the shark was alive or dead, but his master knew. So the man in Xuani could intercede with Yunwu. Little Smelly realized this and couldn't help humming. The mouth of the animal was opened, and a wisp of pure yang came out of the mouth, mixed into the flame, turned into a thin barrier, formed a layer of estrangement, and cut off the connection between the little shark and the man in black. Sure enough, the next moment I saw the man in Xian's face frozen. I looked at Xiao Xia, but I found that I couldn't get in touch with him anyway, and his face became very ugly. Yunwu naturally knows what little stink has done, but he doesn't say anything. He just looks at the man in Xuani worried. Finally, the man in Xuani couldn't wait any longer. He rushed directly to the fire. Anyway, he would go to save Xiaoji. That's his summoner. Xuani man rushed to the front. Golden Phoenix eyes flashed a touch of disdain. Just want to teach him a lesson. Cloud dance but suddenly said, Okay. Small stinky mouth a turn, not willing to send out a foaming, and then obediently fly toward the clouds. Before leaving, still don't forget to put out the flame. The golden phoenix flies all the way to the cloud dance and turns into human form. Well done. Yunwu nodded with a smile. Little Stink immediately began to give Yunwu a big hug. In the sky, after the flame went out, the shape of the shark man finally showed up. Only to see that a touch of red slowly transformed into blue, but not before the cold. He was as embarrassed as rolling in the haystack, although he didn't suffer too much injury. But she was also fumigated. If it wasn't for the small stink that controlled the temperature, and she used the fire element to resist it, she would be seriously injured and comatose at this time. Around is like this. After that flame extinguishes, the small shark or takes off the strength to fall toward the ground. The man in Xuani, who had just breathed a sigh of relief, was startled. He caught him in a hurry. Seeing his appearance, he was distressed. He quickly let her go back to her own space to heal. Dare to say I'm a smelly phoenix, you'll have to be proud next time. Small Stinky looking at Xuani man came. Know what he said? Small mackerel can hear. Immediately a face proud said. Go back to. Cloud Dance said. Then Small Stink back to the space. I lost. Miss Yunwu's strength is really extraordinary. Xuani man stopped in front of Yunwu and said with some respect. This competition makes me remember extraordinary. If I have a chance in the future, I must have another competition. Cloud Dance light nodded said. Welcome at any time. The man in Xuani laughed 3 times, and then left directly, even without a word of parting, leaving the people staring at each other. Cloud Dance murmurs in the back. This man also seems to be a casual person, not bound by the secular. If she had a chance, She would like to compete with him again. Although she won this time, the man in Xuani will be more active in practice in the future. At that time, the match will be perfect, and the win or lose is still unknown. Miss Cloud Dance, thank you very much this time. The King of Fire came forward and said politely to Yunwu. Although it was Yunwu who handed him over to the man in Xuani, he would have been taken by the man if he didn't have Yunwu's hand for the first time. How could he stand here and talk? Therefore, in any case, the Fire Beast King's heart has inherited a human feeling of Yunwu. Do you have any information about what I asked you to inquire for me? Cloud Dance did not say some polite words with him, but directly asked. For her, inquiring about the whereabouts of Long Qingxia is more important than making polite remarks. We've searched all the places around here, but we haven't found the people you said, the King of Fire said with shame. A touch of loss flashed in Yunwu's eyes. Originally, I thought that so many fire beasts of the Fire Beast clan would be able to find it, but I didn't expect that it was useless. It seems that it's time for her to leave the volcanoes and look elsewhere. Miss Cloud Dance, there is another place, but no one in our family dares to go. The Fire Beast King hesitated again and said, I think maybe your friend will be there. Where? Blood Corpse Land. As soon as the words came out, the fire beasts who wanted to get close to the clouds were stunned. What's more, they shivered directly. Blood Corpse Place. These 3 words are like a magic spell. All the creatures who have lived in the volcano group for a long time know how it exists. It is known as the forbidden area in the volcanic group. No matter who goes in or when, you can't get out of it. It is said that there are powerful blood corpses living in the blood corpse field. They are always hungry and will eat whatever they want. They are tyrannical and have little wisdom, just like Walking Dead. In short, there are so many legends about the Blood Corpse Place that no one can say for sure what it looks like. But there is only one thing everyone is sure of, that is, if you go in, you will never come out again. Miss Cloud Dance, if your friend is really there, I'm afraid I can't find it anymore. Fire Beast King slowly said, the guess in the heart. Cloud Dance heart jump. But there is no fluctuation on the face. Looking at the fire beasts around, we can see from the expression on their faces that the so-called Blood Corpse Land is definitely not a good place. But if they were really trapped there, how could she sit back and ignore them? What's more, there's no news from them even though she's been searching all over the place, so it's time for her to go to other places. Speaking of Blood Corpse, Cloud Dance suddenly thought of once promised Snow Silver thing. Now the flower of Rattan has arrived, and the only thing left is in Xuan's hand. According to the information, the person who took Xuan's wife is also a blood corpse. Is there any connection between them? Cloud Dance thought silently in my heart. When I think of it, I feel that I have to go there. Thank you for telling me. How much do you know about the Bloody Corpse Place? Yunwu looks up at the King of Fire and asks. Fire Beast King Alung, listen to this word. Seem to Cloud Dance is really intend to go to Blood Corpse ground, unexpectedly own persuasion or useless. In this case, it would be better to tell her that she might be able to retreat. Thinking about this, the King of Fire Beast said, Miss Cloud Dance, please come back with me first. I'll send someone to the clan to ask. Although not all of what you know is true, you can know more about it. Yunwu nodded, then walked towards the cave with several people. In the room, in front of everyone, the Fire Beast King invited Yunwu to the seat, and then knelt heavily in front of Yunwu. This is not only Cloud Dance stunned, and even other people have incredible looking at all this. King Yu. The Fire Beast standing on one side immediately made a sound to stop it. But looking at the Cloud Dance sitting on the top, I didn't say the rest after all. And the King of Fire didn't give them a chance to talk. Looking at Yunwu's stunned face, the King of Fire Beast said, Miss Yunwu, we have seen your strength in our eyes these days, and helped us solve the problem of the man in black clothes. Thank you in my heart. I once wanted to be the summoner of the lady, but when I saw the golden phoenix, I felt that although I was also a fire demon, the beast, but it's not good after all. Yunwu sat on the first seat and watched him quietly, waiting for him to continue. We know that even if we do our best, we can't compete with Miss Yunwu. Although we have lived here for a long time, we all hope to untie the seal one day and go to the outside world. So today, I'm here to ask bravely. I hope Miss Yunwu can get the way to remove the seal in the future, and miss you all and remove the seal. If the young lady can promise, I am willing to follow her forever, be her servant, and go through fire and water at all costs. As soon as the words came out, Yunwu didn't respond, and other people directly exclaimed, King, how can you be a servant? You are our king, you can't. King. All the persuasion fell in the ears of the fire beast king, but it seemed that he had not heard it at all. He still looked at Yunwu in silence, waiting for his decision. His eyes were full of firmness. Cloud Dance dropped her eyes and looked at him deeply. It seemed that she could see his heart directly through her eyes, which made people feel that even the soul was seen through. Even so, the fire beast king still kneels on the ground and won't give up. If Yunwu doesn't agree, he won't pester. But even if there is a glimmer of hope, he will fight for it, let alone kneel down. If he can lift the seal, he can work hard. Yunwu finally regained his sight, looked down at the fire beast king and said, Good heart, be a servant, what a pity. Fire beast king's eyes flashed a touch of surprise. Listen to the meaning of this. Cloud Dance seems to be to agree? Get up. Don't do this to me in front of your subordinates. As soon as Yunwu's words were finished, the fire beast king blushed and quickly stood up from the ground. At this moment he realized that he had done something wrong accidentally, and even begged in front of so many subordinates. Let's not talk about the shame. Just now, just on a whim, he did it directly, but he forgot. In this way, his subordinates would persuade themselves that it would be a bitter trick in Yunwu's eyes. Fortunately, Yunwu didn't think much about it, and he didn't feel proud because he knelt down, which made the fire beast king feel that he didn't see the wrong person. If you can, you will continue to let your subordinates help me find my friends, and you don't have to be my servant. If I find a way to lift the seal, I'll come back to you. Cloud Dance Light said. Anyway is also help, although don't know at the beginning that human Y want to seal them up, but she doesn't mind to help. On hearing this, the fire beasts were very excited. Then they knelt down on one knee in front of Yunwu and said, Thank you, Miss Yunwu. The fire beast king looked at the Cloud Dance and said, If Miss Cloud Dance doesn't dislike me, can I recognize you first? In the future, when the seal is lifted, I'll follow you and be in front of you and behind you. Cloud Dance surprised to see Fire Beast King. Originally she said don't want him to be a servant, also because temporarily can't take him out. And she promised to lift the seal, and she will naturally receive some rewards in the future. You know, it's best to have more helpers in exterminating beasts. But unexpectedly, the Fire Beast King seemed to recognize himself. He insisted so much that Yunwu could not help but move in his heart. This time, the other fire beasts stood on one side and didn't plug in anymore. Even they all saw the determination of the Fire Beast King, and knew that they were useless no matter what they said. It's better to stand obediently than to do so. Cloud Dance finally nodded and said, Yes. The people who went outside to collect information came here 2 hours later. After that, they brought some ordinary people to Yunwu. They treated him as if they were respectful to the Fire Beast King. They didn't see the appearance of using her a few days ago. Cloud Dance simply asked a few questions, and listened to them tell the story of the Blood Corpse place again. She was more sure that she would go to the Blood Corpse place. Those blood corpses are particularly frightening. It is said that they are covered with blood and poisonous blood. They eat all living things, drink human blood, drink Warcraft blood, and those who have been sucked blood but have not died will become blood corpses. The blood corpse field is full of poisonous gas. The people who go in may not see the blood corpse. After walking a few steps inside, they are directly poisoned by Zhangqi. It's very strange in the blood corpse field. Sometimes people walk well on it, and are suddenly dragged to the ground. There are many terrible things in it. Each of the people who were brought was eloquent, as if he had seen the scene with his own eyes, and the fire beasts around him were creepy. Yunwu is the only one with the same complexion. He is lost in meditation from time to time. Fire Beast King in the heart of praise. Worthy of the boss of their own recognition. This kind of spirit is really no one else can compare. The legend of Blood Corpse Land was finally conveyed among those people, and no one else could tell. After listening to Cloud dance for a whole afternoon, I finally finished. Looking at the dark sky, Yunwu decided to start the next day. Boss, what they say is so terrible. Do you still want to go? When there was no one, the Fire Beast King followed Yunwu and asked. From Yunwu promised to let him follow him, the title of Fire Beast King changed directly. Originally, he wanted to call the master, but he was beaten back by Yunwu with the sentence, all partners, no master and servant. In the end, he had no choice but to call Yunwu the boss like a brother. Then the title became more and more convenient. Not only the king of fire beasts liked to call it that way, but other fire beasts around him also called it that way. However, in one afternoon, Yun Wubian had a feeling of collecting a lot of younger brothers. Well, I must. Yunwu raised his head, looked at the distance and said faintly, "They are my very important friends. Even if there is only a glimmer of hope, I will go, no matter how dangerous it is. Even hell, I'll get them back." The king of fire beasts looked at the resolute girl in front of him with infinite emotion, but he didn't say a word more, so he could only support her silently. The next day, Yunwu started early in the morning. The fire orcs do their best to send Yunwu to the edge of the seal, and then they finally stop. No matter how far away it is, the seal will be triggered. The taste is not good, so they can only stand here to say goodbye to Yunwu. Go west from here until you reach a mountain range, and find the entrance to the valley, where is the blood corpse field. The king of fire beasts stood on the edge of the seal and said his last words to Yunwu. "Boss, as long as you go in, there will be no turning back." Cloud Dance nodded, the fire beast king's worry in the eyes, but did not say much. Then he called Jinling out directly. As soon as the huge and powerful golden carving appeared, the fire beast sighed again. I thought it was the summon beast dancing in the clouds again. But when I saw that there was no flash of the summon array, I knew it was just a mount. I couldn't help but feel relieved. The cloud dance has brought them too much surprise. If it goes on like this, my heart can't stand it. Jinling, let's go. Cloud Dance jumps up and orders to Jinling. With a long roar, Jinling waved his wings and flew to the west. Behind them, a group of fire beasts stood on the edge of the seal, watching the clouds gradually moving away, praying silently in their hearts. They must come back alive. Starting from the volcano where fire beasts live together, Yunwu is not in a hurry to go to the blood corpse place, but takes the lead in flying around the top of the volcano. The fire beasts are sealed in that small space, and the scope they can find is limited. And their race search will not be so careful. So Yunwu decided to look around carefully to see if it could be found. The location of the top of the Clinker volcano is really huge. In the endless volcano, it is red everywhere. If there are people here, it is easy to find it. But it took Yunwu a day to find the top of the volcano. When it was dark again, Yunwu finally found it. Jinling, find a place to have a rest, and we'll go to the blood corpse place tomorrow morning. Jinling answered and flew to the ground. In the early morning of the second day, Yunwu called out Jinling again. One man and one beast walked all the way to the west. Jinling's speed was very fast, but in a moment, he came to a place where the mountains were connected. Each of those mountains was an active volcano, towering into the clouds. Jinling, fly up and have a look. The wings spread out, and Jinling flew up directly. But unexpectedly, just arrived at the top of the mountain, before we could get closer, Yunwu suddenly felt something in general, and quickly said, "Stop! Don't come any closer." There was a faint white mist on the top of the mountain. It was like a fairyland on earth. But Yunwu knows what it is. Think of what the fire beast said about the blood corpse place. And then look at the fog that is clearly surrounded by the volcano but still exists. Cloud Dance instantly understood. That is the natural defense of blood corpse land, Zhangqi. It seems that this bloody corpse place is not so easy to break into. Cloud Dance frowned and said. In this way, Yunwu wants to go in more. Since ancient times, there are all kinds of opportunities in dangerous places. If you can go in and take the opportunity to experience, maybe you can improve your accomplishments. What's more, they may still be in it. Go and find the entrance. Think of here. Cloud Dance low head to Jinling command to. Without saying a word, Jinling flew down again, this time flying around the mountains. Yunwu sits on Jinling's back, looking carefully under the mountains for fear of missing the entrance. Finally, after searching for nearly half an hour, we finally found the entrance to the valley. Cloud dance a person a beast stop. Let Jinling go back first. Oneself a person looked around to see the situation nearby. I saw that this entrance is like a small cup mouth, not wide. It can only accommodate 5 people side by side. If there are some large warcraft that can't turn into human shape, they don't want to go in at all. Standing at the entrance and looking inside, you can see that the light inside is very dark. Large areas of lush trees block out the sunlight. Only a few rays of light can pass through, so that people can barely see the situation inside. And the more dark it was, the more Cloud Dance struggled to see for a long time, but still couldn't see far. Is there a forest in such a place? It's really weird. Cloud Dance frowned and said. It's clearly a group of volcanoes, but this valley is like a primeval forest. It's full of trees. If it's not a mirage, it's a ghost. Cloud Dance looked up at the sky. Now it is the time of the year. At noon, the sun is the strongest. At that time, Zhangqi will be dispelled, which is also the best time to enter the blood corpse field. After making up her mind, Yunwu directly sat down cross-legged at the entrance. Now her task is to adjust her state to the best state. The sun rose a little bit, and the time slowly approached noon. Cloud Dance finally opened a pair of eyes that had been closed, and they were full of vitality. Bloody corpse ground, let's go. Step into the blood corpse of the moment. A cold oncoming. Cloud can't help but beat a shiver. Immediately in the body transport fire elements. This is better. The cold was not like the ordinary cold, but like the wind. It was creepy. Even the Cloud Dance was affected. It's really weird. Cloud Dance frowned and said, no wonder this place is called Forbidden Area. If ordinary people come in, even if they don't meet blood corpses, they will be attacked by the cold and die. It's difficult to go deep. But Cloud Dance is obviously not an ordinary person. Mama, with my pure yang, I can help you resist these unpleasant hot breath. The little stinky voice sounded. His pure yang is he just understood soon. But for pure yang ability is very believe, compared with the general flame. It can not only repel the cold, but also isolate the poisonous Zhangqi. Although Cloud Dance itself is not afraid of these things, but if there is pure yang, it will be simpler. So Yunwu nodded. At the next moment, she felt a warm current rising from the Dantian place, and a few breaths flowed all over her body, which made her feel very comfortable. The cold around her could not affect her anymore. And the Zhangqi she touched seemed to have met with a natural enemy. It's really a good thing. Cloud Dance said with a smile. In the space, little Stinky looks proud. The other summoners looked at the Thud's expression and thought, why is this phoenix more and more in need of beating? With pure Yangyan protection, Yunwu goes directly to the deep. Since this is the territory of blood corpses, if there are living people coming in, they will be targeted by blood corpses. She knows the strength of Long Qingxia. She's afraid that even if she's captured, there won't be any problem. She's afraid that she won't be captured at all. Then she won't know where to find someone. The area of the blood corpse site is so large, and it's not as easy to find as the volcano group outside. There is no difference between looking for a man here and looking for a needle in a haystack. All the way to the deep, Yunwu found that there was nothing like what the fire beast said. Except for the common warcraft, there were many kinds of insects and poisons along the way. Scorpions, snakes, lizards. It's like a natural poison farm, where every living creature is covered with poison. Even the grass on the ground is mostly poisonous. Fortunately, Yunwu recognized these, otherwise she would not know how many times she died. Because of the scarcity of life in the forest, it has been very quiet. Although it is cold, there is no wind. Yunwu stopped to have a rest after a long walk. I'm not familiar with anything here, so every step I take is extremely careful, which has lasted for several days. After walking in the blood corpse field for 2 days, Yunwu finally met with an accident. Above the swamp, the hot flame directly attacked a blood-red figure. Black flame, red body, the two interweave together, instantly issued a zizi burning sound. Cloud Dance coldly looks at the blood corpse that falls down in front of. Complexion is cold, don't say a word. Say it. Did you catch those people? These blood corpses are obedient to the orders of the top, although they don't have a high IQ, but they can also be like normal people. Yunwu knows that if they catch those humans, they will know what they mean by their own questions. Human? Or the summoner? A blood corpse's eyes were red, and his eyes were full of excitement. He even put out his tongue and licked his lips. I haven't tasted the taste of human summoner for a long time. I don't know what it was. Today, someone came to the door. Ha ha ha. The blood corpses were laughing wildly, and there was no timidity because of Yunwu's hand. As for human beings, anyone who has a little force thinks he can go out alive. After defeating 1 or 2 blood corpses, he thinks he is very powerful. In the end, he is not captured by them. In front of this nature is no exception. Blood corpses in the heart of the idea all exposed in the face, looking at the Cloud Dance's eyes as looking at a delicious food. Yunwu frowned. It seems that if we don't teach them some lessons, we can't ask them what to say. Hum. At the moment, with a cold hum and a turn of the palm, Gu Wu Dao appeared in his hand, and the black flame on it was beating restlessly. Want to eat me? It depends on whether you are afraid of scalding. After that, the Cloud dances toward a blood corpse quickly, and the Gu Wu sword on his hand cuts directly at the blood-red head. Although the intelligence quotient of the blood corpse is not high, the reaction speed in the face of danger is not slow. When Yunwu's attack came, he directly flashed to one side to see that he had avoided the attack of Gu Wu Dageo. But the Cloud Dance reaction is not slow. Backhand a thunder element condensation of lightning toward the blood corpse split, the shoulder, directly cut off which a shoulder on the ground. Yunwu jumps to a tree and looks coldly at the blood corpse whose arm has been cut off. However, there are many waves in his heart. I saw that the blood corpse whose arm was cut off didn't seem to feel pain, and didn't even yell. Instead, he and his companions surrounded the tree, picked up the fallen arm and put it on the wound. Then Cloud Dance Change saw an incredible scene. I saw that the severed arm was a little bit connected with the broken arm, but it overlapped for a moment, and there was no trace of being cut. Ha ha ha, see? I said you can't kill us. What are you doing in vain? It's better to let us take you back and suffer less. The bloody corpse with his arm cut off opened his red eyes to the cloud. See Cloud Dance expression and past those people have no difference, heart more proud. Human beings are human beings after all. What about rare summoners? Yunwu was full of shock in her heart. After a brief surprise on her face, she soon regained her calm, as if all this was in her expectation. Well, this man has some courage. A blood corpse cold voice says, see to Cloud Dance of vision is very not good. I can't kill you. Cloud Dance ignored the bad tone of blood corpse, murmured with the voice that only he could hear. If you can't kill me, I'll try to chop more. I don't believe that I can recover even if I chop you up. Cloud Dance said, directly rushed forward and kicked the bloody corpse that had just been cut off by himself for more than 10 meters. Then, without waiting for other blood corpses to react, he immediately bullied himself and waved the ancient sword in his hand. It was a big knife, but it seemed like a small dagger in her hand. When she waved it, people couldn't see where the weapon was. They could only see the shadows in the air. Come on. Stop her! The blood corpses finally reacted and rushed forward one after another. The Cloud dances the canthus to quickly glimpse the blood corpse's movement. That speed unexpectedly no less than oneself. Suddenly his eyes sank, his hand was faster, and he kicked the bloody corpse more than 10 meters, repeating his behavior. You're tuning in to the Lime's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.